And hello everyone to Swim or Sink number 129. It is I, Lily Gravy Bread, and I'm here with Jorian. How are you today, Jorian? It's fantastic to be here with you once again, and I'm very much looking forward to commentating this first half of the tournament with you.
Yeah, this first half of the tournament, once again, it's been like 4 swimmer sinks ever since this happened. Got a little bit of a good break. Had a lot of, tournament production
Mm-hmm.
side for both of our ends to like fill that time. But now we're back for a little bit of a chill SOS once again. And yeah, definitely it's exciting for this 129. Oh my god, we have like 21 to go to 150.
Yeah, only 21 to go. That's soon, isn't it? Like considering how frequently Swim or Sink happens. Man, it feels like it happens almost every week pretty much. But
Yeah.
we do have number 150 coming up. But this is still going to be a fantastic Swim or Sink. I've been looking at the sign-ups lately. We have a couple of interesting teams and fun little pickups that we've been taking a look at as well. I believe that the current two teams that we will be showing first, Velvet Sky, Coastal, Squid Surge. I don't think Velvet Sky is a pickup, but I don't really know anything about Coastal Squid Surge.
So Coastal Squidgers is actually a college team from the CCA Splatoon side, and I think they made it to playoffs so far. For
Oh,
Velvet
that's
Sky,
exciting.
yeah, for Velvet Sky, you can see 3 people are there, and then you see Fufu
Mhm.
from the Whipways. Fufu is actually an FA, so most likely this is a tryout for this whole tournament.
Exciting.
So it's
Oh.
very exciting. And Fufu is a backline as well, so maybe we're gonna be
Mhm.
seeing a little bit of a battle between I think it actually was Coco or his child playing the sniper when I started close to Twitch if I remember correctly. So sniper wars could be happening this match actually.
Sniper Wars. Oh my goodness, love to see some Sniper Wars for sure. And actually, I feel like having a tryout during a swim or sink can be a lot of fun. Anyway, it is a fun tournament to play in. Um, Actually, speaking of Sniper Wars, I know that Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. I know that can be a pretty fun one for Sniper anyway. But Tower Control Ship Shape Cargo Company. This one is an interesting. I don't really know what the mode like. I'm not a backline. I don't really know what like the standard or the go-to choice is necessarily for this particular map mode regarding the backline. So I'll be interested to see what Fufu brings out. Does look like we're seeing the Zekofin scope. Of course, you'll be getting those GG strikes. We're actually seeing a double shot on the side of Coastal Squid Surge, a T-Tech, and a V-shot. And it's a fairly close, fairly short range comp they're bringing out as well. Love to see the V-Blaster come out, of course. Fantastic in tower control for the AoE, and generally for the bubble as well, just to help secure those crucial key spots around checkpoints as well, which we really want to hold, especially here on Shipshape. It does look like already one of the players on, actually two on Coastal Squid Surge, have gone down here, so they're going to have to back up just a little bit, giving Velvet Sky some space to start slowly moving up ahead. Does look like there is a fight breaking out on the side, though. Peachy going to be winning that one, and it does look like actually they're going to attempt to make a comeback.
Yeah, it does look like they're going to have a comeback. Saying about the blaster, mostly because of the new update that actually got shown up, they might be practicing for the new blasters in that update, but for right now, we see that Fufu, again, playing the sniper on this backline ship cargo, it's really a flat map, so Fufu has full range as we saw in the first minute of the game, helping the whole team go ahead. Coco is being the one solo 1v1ing, mostly sticking the tower, getting on to tower nearby, but mostly backing up Fufu. No cool on the side of Velvet Sky. Coastal Squidgers have time to come back, but mostly they're going to be coordinating for specials a little bit. It's kind of weird for Coastal Squidgers to have the blaster to the blob on the side of PG, but because of the AoE of the blaster, mostly because of the small map, it does not really let evolves to bounce off for the blob hits. It is understandable.
Oh, that was a great pick from Fufu actually that we saw just then. That's going to be stopping Coastal Squid Surge from being able to finish off getting this checkpoint. But Peach is coming out with the bubble here, but still, once again, Fufu coming out with his strikes just to stop that from happening. Looks like that flank is going to be finishing off the blaster as well. And with those 3 players down, Velvet Sky is in a great position to start pushing ahead, especially with the juice coming out with the Tacticooler. I feel like there's been a little bit of a discussion about Tacticooler recently. I wonder if we might be seeing any changes to it come the next update cycle.
Kind of update things, update cycle, maybe not because of the new special coming up, but we can talk about that another time. Starshow play winning from Icy, but actually that's going to be a kill off on the side of Velvet Sky. So right now it could be a checkpoint for Velvet Sky right now, but the bomb kill from Coco. No, wait, that was Azuka. Jesus, Jesus, man. Ratchet's going to get 1v1 and getting killed off by the Zap. But no, by the shot, and that's going to be a double actually as well with Peachy going down. Chai's getting 1v1 against Fufu. Coco is going to be 2v1 actually. They might be able to break the checkpoint in the first half of the game already. Again, in the first half, there's no one broken checkpoint actually. We should mention that.
Yeah, no one has even got that first checkpoint, but Velvet Sky is definitely trying to get that done right now. And even though those strikes came out, and they're going to be returning strikes of their own just to be able to clear the area once again, fairly passive strikes, fairly kind of like not the most aggressive strikes, but that's still going to be like, especially with the help of that Zuka and those further strikes coming out, definitely to create some kind of wall to hold Coastal Squid Surge back even further. That's going to help them get down to 28. It looks like they're doing a great job winning these fights as well. Just keep this tower moving, but fantastic pick from Fufu again, just to get rid of their bucket as well. That's going to help. That like top left area is going to be pretty dangerous when you're moving the tower around that next checkpoint here.
Yeah, definitely. Fufu definitely has been popping up in this game with point-blank snipes, as one of them before, one of them at the start of the game as well. But as most of the team for Velvet Sky has been backing up 2 down, the shots going down, slots going down, they don't really have the double Shrek scenario to go for pain. But for right now, for the side of Coastal Switcher, they do have a strike, they do have a bubble. They're going to pop up. They're going to go and pop up the bubble. They're going to pop up the strikes once they get back to the middle, which is going to be a little bit early right now. But it might be for a safer play with the shot going down. The shot's going to be draining off as well. The sniper's going to go down. It might be the time for Coastal Switcher to finally push, but that's 2 down by a bomb.
Oh, damn. A bomb as well. Okay, yeah, they had such a good advantage as well, but this is just going to be flipping back around in their favor once again, even though they had a pretty good special advantage they had before, which I believe is probably the reason why they were going to pop those specials and start pushing that. And they did get a couple of players down on Velvet Sky there. Oh, Magic is here making the magic happen with the tactical here and staying alive as well. They haven't been able to find a pick around there, but that's going to be kind of holding them back just that extra little bit further to help Coastal Squid Surge move slowly but surely through Velvet Sky's court. Velvet Sky noticing this is going to be taking them out, especially by pushing them back with those strikes that we saw just before with those 2 players down, and the blaster once again on Coastal Squid Surge. It's going to be Velvet Sky in a very comfortable position to be able to grab that tower and secure this first game. I think that's exactly what happens here. They didn't even need to take the tower anyway, because Coastal Squid Surge wasn't able to get on in time to trigger overtime. But that was a very fantastic game from both teams. Actually, Coastal Squid Surge love seeing them be able to kind of like slowly make that counter push in the last minute of the game. But you know, I think Velvet Sky, fantastic job, well deserved fist bump as well.
Because the scriptures, what they were going on, like we saw that in the game as well. We saw Magic pull up the cooler, and we saw Peachy with the blaster putting a bubble there as well, trying to ledge farm on the left side, but really not seeing anyone there is the whole new issue, as everyone was on the right side. And with the whole thing with bubble not being on tower, that's going to be a loss of some points. But for the side of Velvet Sky, again, the sniper from Fufu was able to have them go up and go against everyone possible if they wanted to. So for the side of Velvet Sky with top control ship shape, most likely I could just say it was their map because of the sniper. Maybe because Scorch though being next. You said that Waymaker on the sniper kind of maps is going to be good because of the checkpoints, right?
Yeah, I think that one thing that I've seen brought out on Rainmaker Scorched Gorge is actually hang on, not Sniper Rider, is the vanilla charger because of Ink Fact. Yeah, because of Ink Fact. That's something that I tend to see a lot here. Sniper Rider in particular is probably something more commonly seen from much more useful, I think, in splat zones because of the really consistent paint output. But yeah, also the thing about like Scorch Gorge as well is that it has a very weird mid. I feel, and I feel, I don't know, I feel like things can kind of stall a little bit in mid and only really start to get going once you throw everything at those checkpoints. And of course, having an Inkvac is gonna help out there. And it does look like we are actually seeing Fufu bring out the V scope. Of course, that is going to be the Inkvac, and we're seeing a triple shot actually come out on the other side. This is going to be a double Zuka. But the thing that I feel like the thing that we've seen, especially in 20XX, is that Zuka, even though it's like really powerful, can like flip things over very quickly from one side to the other in terms of who is in favor. My goodness, we're seeing an actual brawl come out in mid with two players going down almost immediately there. Both teams trying to figure out who's going to be taking mid first and who's going to be getting into the defensive positions. But I do feel like it's going to be Coastal Squid Surge that is going to have to get into some kind of defensive position. They are going to be... oh my goodness. They are going to be pushing out... push them out. Managed to get them out with the tri-strikes.
Yeah, that's making it point 93. Velvet Tribe was playing it a little bit safe and easy because they had a one down immediately when they were trying to go in. With Coastal Squid going ahead, again the shots just keep them 1v1ing. That's just like the third time that the shots traded with each other. But talking about 20XX actually, like on the NA side, it might have been that we saw a lot of like Zukas to play it out, but for the side of JP on this map, it was actually more simplistic with the actual comp that Velvet Sky has. So in this kind of scenario, it's more again the slow range versus the aggressive frontline, which we see for Coastal Squid Surge. Because of Fufu Sniper, it's going to be, they need to think like outside the box how they want to play this out.
Yeah, the thing that we saw from Fufu Sniper in the previous match was actually how Fufu was able to, I think, just really get players, like pick players off, very key players off who are in those, getting into those defensive positions, just to make it easier for the rest of Velvet Sky to start pushing forward. It does look like, once again, all these players are kind of going down one by one. Those trades coming out. We've got the Inkvac coming out from Fufu as well, which is going to help neutralize and also take back a bit of mid as well off the back of that. But there's only been like 7 points scored at all in this match so far, and no checkpoint. I've barely been able to make it out of mid. This has been pretty much a brawl the entire game so far, but that wipeout is definitely going to be changing things up here as Coastal Squid Surge manages to take that checkpoint very freely. Magic is going to be camping those ledges once again, staying alive from that suction bomb, making sure the front line is absolutely painted up, but unfortunately those two players are going to be going down on Coastal Squid Surge as well.
What happened there was Coco actually trying to find a snake, and they actually found out snake for the first time, with Peachy and or Magic both doubling together and trying to get kills on the other side, and the Stamper too. Because we saw earlier in the match that they were really 2v1ing all the time, but usually the Snapper got the win. But so far right now, with everyone being like separated on the side of Velvet Sky, Coastal Squid Surge got the advantage, got the kill off them, and then they got the checkpoint pretty freely. But with two specials on the way of Velvet Sky, the Stamper being gone once again, the main aggressive being gone, the back being in play, the shot being gone, the zap being coolered, but most likely nothing's going to happen. It's going to be right now just a stalemate again for Coastal Squid Surge. But with 1 minute 50 seconds left, they mostly can just stay staggered in the middle while they keep on going kills like they are right now.
Yeah, it does look like they are going to be, I think dropping back there is just going to keep things stalled just for a little bit longer. We do have 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the match. However, Velvet Sky is yet to get their first checkpoint, so they have quite a lot of work to do. Coastal Squid Surge is in a pretty comfortable lead at the moment with 42, and we can see them already kind of just trying to get a read on what's going to be happening around here, getting those specials out as well. This is trying to push them back, and the Zuka managing to at least get Fufu out of the picture. Stamper's gone, so this looks like it is time to go with this Rainmaker. You do want to get a bigger lead than 44 here. It doesn't look like they're actually going to be losing it at that point, however.
Yeah, Nate actually getting the 2 down on Chai, and that was Magic as well. But again, this is the puppets to go actually mentioned before, but they need to be in the middle. Nate being the Rainmaker carrier, as you saw in the start of the match, and we're seeing once again, getting the Rainmaker kills solo as a weapon, but with if they pass Magic is the question, which they are basically slowing down Magic, but them being stuck in the back. This is going to be really tough for them to come back, but with the back coming out on the side, Oh, Fufu battling Magic and the Zuka actually being saved off. The Peachy's Zuka actually falling off. Coco's being down, and that's going to be Chai down as well. Magic going down. Peach is going to be able to wipe out, but Nate is following on the side of the fast player of the Sky, and they get the checkpoint.
Yeah, okay, going into these last 15 seconds with that checkpoint down, and hopefully with these specials coming out, fantastic pick on Peachy there, but those are going to be some defensive strikes just to try and push them out just a little bit more. I'm wondering if they're actually going to be able to win this fight, to be able to close up when it's forward, but we are seeing trades come out. Unfortunately, unfortunately, that wasn't going to be the lead for them at the very end, because that Rainmaker is just going to be taken by Coastal Squid Surge. Who had like a pretty comfortable lead earlier on as well, but you know, when I saw them take the Rainmaker to the checkpoint, I was thinking, okay, we've seen Fufu use Inkvac like fairly defensively to try and stop pushes, but are we going to be seeing the more aggro Inkvac, which is something I love to see, because you know, Inkvac is just so much fun. Like for me as a frontline player, just to help out with winning with twice, because I love that cone of invincibility. I'm going to call it the cone of invincibility that you get when you're there. It's a great little support to help win fights, and also of course to help push the Rainmaker forward as well. But yeah, fantastic job from Coastal Squid Surge actually.
Yeah, same with the back of the cone invisibility. Again, for the back play, like with the backline, it might be a little bit awkward because like you're used to have it for the backline to stay like in a certain position and stay ready. But say like if it's from a 10th umbrella who is playing the back, they can keep going because they're used to playing forward. So it might be like awkward to figure out for right now, like for the side of Velvet, like, oh, we need to go ahead with the vacuum, but or not. But really for the side called Squishers, they got the momentum. They found a way. They found a way to like play against it, and they've actually adapted to Velvet Sky a little bit. But for Glamis and Crableg, that's going to be hard to say for a little bit. But the scenario on this, again, the grades on top is going to be a huge factor that they need to kill off. We might see possibly from Pikachu once again. On this one.
Yeah, well, we've been seeing AoE weapons come out. I kind of expect we might see like a blaster come out from the side of Coastal Squid Surge again, because of course you have those ledges, and you did mention the grates as well. But anything that's kind of like that high up as well, you might be seeing some kind of, perhaps even a range blaster or something like that. That's something I've seen here work pretty well in terms of just being able to flush players out of those areas as well. Of course, Coastal Squid Surge does not want Fufu anywhere where there's going to be that kind of backline charger advantage, because Fufu is just going to be picking players off left, right, and center, like we saw in the tower control game. But I'm curious to see, actually, I feel like a bunch of different charges can work here pretty well, whether you're going to be playing Inkvac to kind of like cheese those clams, or whether you're going to be playing the Zekafin scope once again, which I thought was a fantastic choice actually. We're actually seeing no changeable comp from Coastal Squid Surge. It looks like they're going to be playing that triple shot, 2 V-shot plus D-Tech, and also of course the Tri-Slosher. Just they got to really keep their aggression up, of course, because the weapons that Velvet Sky have can definitely kind of keep them at arm's length at least.
Yeah, if it works, don't break it, as some people say, because can already see 2 down, 3 down inside Velvet Sky, with Peachy getting the 3rd one. And they don't have clams though. Now if they do, Magic does pop it up. Coco is on the grade. They're actually going to be coming off. It's going to go down to 68. They have 2 down, maybe 2.5 down right now, with Chai being down, Coco's being the last one. That was only 40 seconds and the first push already happened. There's already been like 8 kills.
Yeah, everything just kind of happened. I think Coastal Squid Surge played so fast in that opening, just to kind of almost disorient Velvet Sky a little bit. But Velvet Sky, I don't think they were very they were kind of unfazed by all that. So we can see them taking up space here, even though they kind of lose players in their attempt at making a push happen. They're still going to be trying to. Oh my goodness! Actually, Peach is going on a bit of a rampage here. So I think that Coastal Squid Surge in the previous game that they won, something must have clicked. something must have clicked, and they're going full aggro, which I think is exactly what you need to be doing when you know that the other team is going to be outranging you, like Velvet Sky's comp does.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and we can see in the rage battle again. Magic was going up. We saw again Icy getting down by Coco. That's the wipe up because of the chop play on the side of the Sky. Actually, that's going to be the first wipe in the match. Again, once the wipe out happens,
Mhm.
as we saw before in the side of the ship shape cargo, the side of Velvet Sky, their landslide starts to fall down and they start to get lead a lot. Again, for the side called Future, they started a little bit early, so they didn't have time to really warm up to the presence of Velvet Sky on how they play it out. This whole match, but with 2 down actually, Coco actually getting it off the Zuka play. PJ might be getting down by Icy with the Stamper, but mostly not as they escape. It's mostly going to be Velvet Sky's no push at all, but close to Squid Church,
Oh
they're just
yeah.
going to be played staggered in the middle. Again,
Yeah, Coastal Squid Surge, what we were seeing there from them, I think, was just like throwing bombs, throwing like fizzies, suction bombs and stuff like that, just to like space out Velvet Sky. I was saying that Coastal Squid Surge don't have range here, but they're actually playing their sub weapons so well just to like compensate for that pretty much. That's the range that they're utilizing really well just to hold Velvet Sky back from being able to make a push.
yeah, and actually for right now, the other thing too for the side of Cold Structures is how much pain output they have against Velvet Sky because of the Stamper and because of the side, but they don't really have that many pain output against Coastal Switchers, so that's why they can just hold middle 100% unless they get 2 kills. But they respawn so quickly because of the cooler that Magic puts out. It doesn't really matter on the side of Coastal Switchers if they die or not. They just need to stall Velvet Sky so much and kill off the ball if they have any, which they do
Oh
just now
yeah, it
with
looks
Coco.
like. Oh, it looks like Velvet Sky almost had something going there with those specials coming out. But yeah, you were talking about the paint coming out, and even though they were trying to push in with the zip caster to kind of get rid of Coastal Squid Surge's positions there defending, which was definitely kind of the thing that they couldn't break past those bombs, of course. But they just managed to hold them back even through those strikes, the zip caster and the Zuka as well. Looks like they're gonna try again though.
Aw.
However, do manage to get someone out that time. Their shot is down, but that's only one player. They're returning the favor with these with that Zuka coming out as well. So this might be just Coastal Squid said, I have a feeling they're just going to be trying to hold Velvet Sky up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but again, like with the kill on the side of Coco, or I think it was Chai, they had cooler, so the kill actually didn't matter because the Zuka was saved on the respawn. So for right now, with the 50 seconds left, again, we are waiting for the 2v2 situation. That's a 3v2 situation for the side of Chai. They need to go, but with no claps in play, the only one is the shot being in the base
Oh
right now, trying to
no!
play it off. They don't have any clamps. The RNG for clamps is going to be the last like cycle right now. They need to get the ball now, but there's only like 3v3.
Yeah, those clam spawns are those clam spawns are going to be the thing that I think is going to hold them back. They needed to have those clams every single time that those clams are spawning in. It's absolutely crucial that you have them in your control, of course. And it looks like even though they had won that fight, they needed those clams as well. That's one of the things that they're actually working on right now. Even though they do lose a player here, they lose 2 in fact, and they go 3 down. They had something going there. They had something set up on the ramp. They were pushing forward, but this is just going to be Coastal Squid Surge taking game 3, 2-1 against Velvet Sky. Fantastic defensive play from Coastal Squid Surge. Especially against, I think, the Zipcaster from Velvet Sky, trying to make something happen there a number of times throughout those games. But, I think just the general survivability that we've been seeing from Coastal Squid Surge and just being there to play those bombs, of course, and to get that paint just to slow down Velvet Sky. After that incredibly fast opening push, kind of just confirmed that that was their game. They weren't gonna give it up.
CSS had the juke, CSS had its knees, CSS basically had the whole paint, they had the whole turf to themselves, they really can't be able to do anything for Velvet Sky. Like for Velvet Sky, I was really just going to save it off to now because after game 2 I noticed something, that
Yep.
because of because for Velvet Sky, for the comp they had, like they were really, it's something like playing off the back line type of deal that they really can't do any aggression if if they get the two down. They needed the two down to get anything going, and just because of the whole Clampets too and Waymaker, they were fast
Mhm.
modes. They were just ongoing. You need to keep on going modes instead of stale modes that you need to
Yeah.
like stay on a certain objective, like tower control.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
for them, for Velvet Sky, it would have been better for them if they had like splat zones in this, but unfortunately it wasn't in this pool. So they had like a disadvantage about for Fufu the sniper again to have a lot of advantage because there's no one staying on that certain point. They're always going to keep on moving, so it's going to be harder for the sniper to find out points and for the zipcaster as well to find out points, to find out kills.
Yeah, oh, you're so right about, especially about splat zones as well, and that was something I was thinking. You know, with no splat zones in this set, we aren't going to be seeing that specific mode where you can just like once you have the objective, you can just hold an aggressive position or hold a position that can lock out the defending team, which I feel like, especially the way Fufu was playing, it was an amazing job as well. Trying out for Velvet Sky, I think anyway, being able to pick off key players from Coastal Squid Surge in that first game, I kind of would expect that if there was a Splat Zones game, we would have seen more of that as well from Velvet Sky.
Yeah.
But in any case, the whole idea of just like rushing in and actually coordinating that first push, um, incredibly well in both the Rainmaker game when they did get that advantage, of course, with the wipeout, but also knowing that okay, we can kind of go in, win fights, get that power climb in, and then for the rest of the game just prevent Velvet Sky from being able to do that at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like in that kind of cases, for those kind of pushes for decided closer to a church, the main aggro's were Coco and Peachy. Coco
mm,
popped off for the second game with the main because to get the kills going, kept on going. But for Peachy, we saw them getting the triple and the
mhm,
doubles during the whole match, showing their combo together on the two shots. Like not even using their special weapon, just using the main weapon. It's just all based on the aim, on the confidence that they had, and they were able to play it off for the side of Coach
mhm.
Squidward. But for the side of, Velvet Sky, they're not over yet. There still is more matches coming up soon. This is just all the matches going on right now for round one. There's one team that didn't submit anything yet. Submit your scores. Remember
Yeah,
that.
please submit your scores. The good, submitting scores also gives us talking points. That's a great thing about submitting your scores on time. Looking at Nessie's
Hmm?
pools as well. Just looking at these teams, it's fun to see Secret Source, an up and coming team. They've won their first match against Honeymoon Avenue. It's been great actually seeing Secret Source grow over the past few months. I'm not sure how long they've been together now, actually. But that is a team that I think would be fun to watch out for in the future as well, just to see where they go. And it's great to see them play in Sumo Sync as well.
Uh,
Does look
Bill-
like
Billy, look at
yes,
Group J.
Group J.
Look at what happened in Group J.
What happened? Okay, it looks like Toilet Time has
EP
won 3-0
EPGP
against Abyssal
focused.
Torrent and Evil Dreepy, like 2-1 against Orca Balestra.
That's an upset right there because Okabalista is
Oh,
in Div 3 playoffs. EPGP
oh,
Div 5. Like
oh my
and they're and
goodness.
and they're doing tryouts as well, I think too. So that's a really good win for EPGP right there.
Oh
Sub
yeah.
Frostbite versus Sub Power Up. That's actually a good
Hmm.
2-1 as well for them because again Sub Power Up versus Frostbite, which is like Div 2, if I remember correctly, or like in the Oceania kind of side, which is pretty high
Hmm.
ranks too. So wow, this Rimmer Sick already is showing good upsets right here.
Damn, yeah. That is very very interesting. Another team that I want to mention also, Flowerpot. They have lost this first set 1-2 against Eminem, but I think them having kind of placed pretty highly in previous Squid Junctions and Swimmer Sinks as well. It'd be interesting to see where they go going forward as well from this. So, um, I'm not necessarily sure if they have exactly the same roster as they played last week in Swim or Sink, but very interesting to see where M is going to be going, if they might make Great White as well. Um, are there any other interesting things you're seeing here? Honda Squid 3-0 against Flashpoint.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hans Squid
Yeah.
did get into Div for playoffs by
Hmm.
basically getting paid off, quote unquote, but not really. Torrent would be returning winners from SOS last week,
Yep.
going for the two straight winners in a row. Everything else that's going on is either 1-1. Crescent Knife is a vampire fight similar score to some final matches going on right now. Ink Life is Breakdown. We didn't get to see the match, but I was talking with you off stream that is actually a pretty good match because Ink Black showing off what they did Louis tonight and Breakdown seeing from the stream what they did before. They are two strong teams that it's unfortunate that we weren't able to see round one, but also the joke of Group L we can all see it's Dapple Productions, but it is not
I was
Dapple
gonna bring that
Productions.
up.
Yeah, it is not Dapple Productions. We know that.
Yeah.
We all know
And
that. Do not like
what's
ping.
what's Double Productions doing on an IPL stream? No, I love Double Productions as. Am I allowed to say I love Double Productions as an organization here? I mean
Well,
we're all friends, but you know this isn't Double Productions as in Double Productions, but actually, who is on that roster? I might have a quick look on
yeah.
Dapple Productions as well. I wonder if we're seeing Dapple Productions at all in this stream. We do have Phantom,
It,
Mint, Spleef, and who? Lucio as well. So
mm,
so we do have some players there. Not I don't think not necessarily the Dapple Productions organization itself though.
Alice, Pinky, Brownie,
Mhm.
me, Little Boo, Walker. Yeah, it's not us.
No.
We were totally doing 20xx this weekend. So like we don't really yeah we are tired.
Mm.
Well, Brownie did some streaming earlier for Paddling Pool earlier today. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're just shouting at Dapple at this point. Well, if we're allowed to do this, hey, remember there is gonna be Trident Cup and there is gonna be Squid Junction this weekend when the
Ooh, you
Splatfest
know,
is going on.
I feel like I can almost feel Popgun coming into stream chat going boo SOS boo again, hearing all of this as well.
That would be funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that would be
uh,
anyway.
it's
You know, did we mention Frostbite and Sub Power Up? It's great actually seeing the old Frostbite cast come back once again for a reunion playing in Swim or Sink as well. So yeah, I think that that's pretty cool to see. I think we've already mentioned that one though.
yeah,
I believe Cactus is playing on pickup Sushi, who has gone
yes.
2-1 against Secret Elixir. Secret Elixir, I remember a few months ago when they were playing in, when they were still playing in Low Ink, and after doing extraordinarily well, just grinding tournaments like Sumo Sync, Popcorn DMing them saying that they were banned from Low Ink. They didn't end up winning Low Ink, I don't think, but Secret Elixir now, I believe, a Div 3 team, so they're going above and beyond. But Shushi is going to be taking that set from them though. However, do we know about Secret Elixir where they are on Luti at the moment?
They are in day three if I remember correctly, but I think they're non-playoffs if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But oh wait, yeah, we should shout as well. Remember this weekend, this Sunday, during the Splatfest as well. We should mention there is going to be High Ink 3 this weekend, but Secret
So,
Elixir is
mhm.
actually playing in too.
Yes, true. Yeah. So there is definitely a cap on the teams that could have entered that one, but there is a fantastic lineup of teams. A lot of them previous low ink winners as well. I know that I believe Sia is coming back with a bit of a reunion to play that as well. So that's exciting. I remember when they won low ink just over a year ago. I think was it October last year?
Yeah, maybe. It's so crazy, but we have some
Mm.
really big OGs coming back. Luau from I think High Ink 1, Jake
Hmm.
Pluton, Xanadu. They're coming back from Low Ink 1. Ikaru Ikaruko, I forgot how to say it. That's going.
Ikaruga, oh, they're
Yeah, that's
fantastic
coming
team.
back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
West Broadway Girls. West Broadway Girls. That's a huge, huge comeback because they're known as the Girls right now. But West
Yeah.
Broadway, they took out the name because of certain things that happened, like back in 2020. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're doing the name now. And Ink Killers, I remember back in 2021, from Riptide, like a week before Riptide. They won the link, and I was teaming with them as a pickup for Riptide that uh, that tournament, and we did make it to redemption as well. So it's pretty
Oh,
good to see them
nice.
back.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It just feels like a massive reunion. I feel like I've been seeing like even this tournament. I did mention like Frostbite, of course. It feels like there are just reunions happening all over the place. Not just like or teams just kind of like coming back out of the woodwork as well. I know that in 20XX, I know it's Dapple Productions. Get off my back about that, but in 20XX, FT Win coming second place, just almost I feel like they could just kind of came back out of nowhere because I don't
Yeah,
think I'd heard from them for a long time, at least not under the name FT Win. And of course, there are those kind of joke tweets you always see. People say, "Oh, I got a quad on FT Win" or something like that, or
yeah,
I'm a member of FT Win. I feel like I see that in so many Twitter bios at the moment, or I have in the last couple of months or so. But yeah, it's interesting to see teams kind of coming back together for certain events, certain tournaments, things like that. Of course, uh, a lot of fantastic up and coming teams as well.
yeah. Soon enough, that we're going to be seeing more. High Ink is going to be a big, like, strong point for seeing like who's in the mid level scene. Well, mid level to high level because everyone grew from a year ago, or individually grew themselves from a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. Like, Low
Mhm.
Ink is 5 years old. For Jesus' sake, like that kind of thing. There was
Mhm.
so much appeal for all the teams, but yeah, we talked about round one a lot. We talked about all the history and flashback, but now we're in round two.
Round two, of course. Yeah, okay, we're actually moving right on. I feel like I was almost getting a little bit carried away talking about all these fantastic teams. We're actually going to be seeing Sunset and the Star Squids play
So,
against one another on Mahi Zones. Okay, tell us about
yeah,
this.
yeah. Okay, so Sunset puts us towards Squids. Mostly, I do not know any of the teams. Hopefully, you do, Lily. But I
I
think I
don't.
know J-Void a little bit by being a
Mhm.
backline player, like playing in some kind of thing. I don't remember exactly, but we can talk about Mahi Resort at least. Mahi
Oh,
Resort
yeah.
is a new revamp map.
Yes, Mahi Resort, fantastic. It has been edited a bit. There's a little bit more. It's kind of opened out a little bit to give you some more room, I guess. It's not as cramped as it was before, I feel. But I still think it hasn't changed so drastically that it feels totally different. I still feel like Mahi Zones is basically the map sorry, the mode to play to play Mahi Resort on. Um it is kind of the Mahi Resort mode at the moment. I do love Clamblitz, even though it's so cramped and you can just like make clams in half a second, power clams in half a second, and like it just goes back and forth from one team to the other very, very quickly because of how small it is. But that's the other thing about this, right? Um once you get like a sniper or some kind of backline over the overlooking the other team's court, the other team's side of the map, that lockout is going to be all crucially important. But of course, because it is so small, you sometimes got to deal with respawn armor when those players are coming back in. And respawn armor, like me as an aggro frontline, I realize, oh man, it's the respawn armor is just making me not win these fights again.
Yeah, like honestly, like saying back from 20XX, there
Mhm.
was those moments that in spots of Mahi Resort, they just went in and just didn't care about respawn away and just farmed the way out of them. That's what
Mhm.
FT Win did, I think, against Jackpot, but or
Mhm.
some other team that was in. I think it was all Jacksons actually. They did that, but just about sponsors on my high. Remember about the water and the drop of frames if you actually play on this map, which is gonna happen for these
Yes.
teams.
Yeah. Okay. We're seeing something interesting here. This isn't something I normally see. Not especially I normally see. But a Kraken coming out from a Chevrolet here. With 96 Deco. Of course, 96 Deco. I think is a fantastic weapon. If you want to kind of play back and just paint a little bit, you've got a little bit of a slower style of play with that weapon. It does look like. And they're also running the ballpoint as well, which is going to be their backline. So usually in such a small map, 96 Deco can sometimes be a pseudo backline. They have lost actually 2 players here. That Kraken not really getting a lot of value, but 2 players have gone down inside of Star Squids. So they're probably going to have to move back just a little bit, especially with Zuki coming out from Sunset. That's trying to make something happen. However, nothing really happens out of that, and Star Squids are going to be holding on, especially with this ink back coming out.
Yeah, but looking like the Inkpack coming out. Wait, the Inkpack's coming from the Blast Blast, which has range. It's really good for them. The Sword Squids, we should talk about the comp as well, because they do have double shot, they have the back, they have the zap. It's basically going to be just like kind of like the last match with the whole kind of comp of having the back. Was that Inkjet snipe almost an assist from Sunshine?
Yeah, almost. Sunshine's still gonna having to dodge that, not dodging the Kraken, however. So there we go, there's the Kraken. But that 96 Gallons is gonna be taken out. It does look like they do manage to actually get the zone, however. The 96, even though it has fantastic paint output, Kraken's not a really good paint output. My goodness, they're just winning these fights. This is an absolute bloodbath we're seeing here. Actually, even though Star Squids are in the zone at the moment, are gonna be like holding this for as long as they can. They've got these penalty points to go through here.
Okay, Sunshine. Sunshine do a little bit of TP, but just Nintendo being Nintendo. But for right now, we are going to be seeing the crack coming out from the 96 Gal. Sunshine's going to be dwindling away, but we saw a shot going in for the 1v1 against it, but actually the other one getting the trade-off. There's going to be 2 down the side of Sword Squids because of the 96 Gal. Even the Rat Blast, the Angel's going to come out to cap the zone. That's going to be their kind of handicap right now, going to be killed off. The shot's going to be killing off the Minty, and that's going to be mostly their advantage as we see Sword Squids going to be backed up in the corner, waiting for specials once again. The back being ready for the next attack.
Yeah, and it does look like already with those 2 specials online for the Star Squids, they're just going to be waiting for exactly the right opportunity to start pushing back in. Sunset doesn't have like a lead yet, but they're slowly getting that score down, and that Kraken is going to be pushing Sunshine out of position once again. I feel like the Kraken has been bullying Sunshine specifically, but they've just been forced into that very unfortunate position of just being like having that crossfire on them. 2 players having gone down. That's the lead switch as well. Sunset is clearly in the lead, looking for this knockout, but Star Squids trying to find an opening back in. The Zuka's going to be coming out, trying to move them out, and those specials as well. It does look like the zone goes back into neutral here.
Ooh, back cheese, back save. The back save actually does work well with Aranoi actually getting the kill off and actually capping the left of the zone with the other shot was able to finish it off. And now we can see for the Sorcerer, it's actually going up into the base, actually getting revenge of what the Kraken did to themselves, because for Sunset, you can see earlier that the Kraken just went into the base instead of just staying around and being defensive. They were trying to lead them to the mid to actually keep them in the 4v1 against everyone else. But for right now, we can see that it's going against them because they don't have any kind of aggro in play with the Kraken and Inkjet coming in with the handicap going gone. It might not be it for the Sword Squids.
Yeah, it might not be, but they are still once again on the back foot with 3 players going down, and Sunset, all they have to do for the next 80 seconds is just hold this position and hold the advantage that they have until the end of the game, because they do have lead and they are getting through these penalty points as well. Star Squids, not only do they have to get lead back, but they have to find a way out, and this Zuka is probably going to be the thing that they're going to try to use to make that happen. They are going to be firing onto the zone, but I'm not sure if they're going to be getting anyone, getting any picks from that, and it does look like the 96 does go down, but Sunset is going to be getting their Inkjet out. Once again, they do lose the zone to Star Squids, and Star Squids actually losing 3 players. I think this might just be Sunset coming back in like nothing happened at all.
Yeah, that was the late wipe on the side of the Sword Squids, getting killed off by the Inkjet, getting killed off by the Inkzuka as well in the 40-second mark. But for right now, again, it's all on Sunset to play defense. But for the Sword Squids, getting killed off by the Zuka, by Minty, they the back cheese going out once again. They need to hold up for 40 seconds plus 5 So that's going to be more or less 25 seconds, more or less, with the Kraken Cheese coming out and play. But the Azuka is still alive, but 2 down. The Inkjet coming out, that might be it. With 2 seconds left, it's going to be staying staggered.
Yeah, it does look like that's going to be Sunset's game. And the thing about Kraken though is that like if you really want to counter Kraken, even though that Kraken was doing a fantastic job at being able to just get especially Sunshine out of position throughout a lot of the game on the side of Star Squids, getting at least one player or two players out of position with Kraken always going to be useful. But the thing is, if you move forward and ignore the Kraken and just focus on winning the other 3 players, then that Kraken loses all of its value, which especially the very, very beginning of the game, I feel like the Kraken didn't manage to get the value, but as the game progressed, Kraken just kind of became more and more useful to Sunset, and we saw how that Kraken was actually able to, I think, push one of the players of on the Star Squids down into that crossfire, which I thought, if they just kind of keep this style of Kraken play up with Kraken, then we're gonna be seeing that Kraken be popped and just Star Squids not really being able to deal with that too well. And it does look like that's what happened eventually.
Just more or less like a cat and mouse situation for the side of the Star Squids, and they really fell for the trap for Sunset to actually get that distraction, so they focus on it rather than more playing on the zone as they go into panic with the points going down, because it made it to 10 and 14. So for both sides, most likely it would be a panic. It's like, oh, we need to go for kills instead of like, oh, we need to play objective because this is Splatoon 3 and this is more of a kill game. But anyways, it's tower control and ink blot now. And also one thing to know is in the last game, how many Krakens and how many jets came out? I counted 6.
Counted 6. I'm glad you were counting because I wasn't counting at all. I just felt like it was almost more specials than I feel like I saw almost more specials than main weapon play. And I know I love talking about 96 cal as a main weapon a lot, but the Kraken actually ended up doing a fair bit in that game as well. Which is not something you normally see on zones, but with such a small map, Kraken can become useful because there are so few places to move.
Yeah, but actually talking about that, we might see the Kraken back here on tower control because it is a small pace move, and we see it once again. It is a small pace move, but again, since it's tower control, because you have the checkpoints, they can just dance on the tower and just keep on jumping, so they will be basically avoiding for Star Squids to get on that tower in any chance matter. But we do see Annoy actually playing the Violent Blaster Deco, where he has to kill a whale.
Yeah, that's going to be a good counter for the Ballpoint's Inkjet in particular. That's something I've seen quite a fair bit because you can definitely harass whatever's flying up in the air. And that Inkjet was definitely getting quite a bit of value as well, just trying to clear that zone in the previous game. It does look like, however, that Ballpoint's already out of the game. And simply is down on Sunset. Star Squid is going to be looking to create some space for themselves here with the Krakens actually coming out in defense to try and get those players off the tower. It does look like, of course, because you have the invincibility, they're going to survive that. They're going to survive this through. They're running away.
Oh my god. Oh my
the
god.
cat and mouse. This time the Kraken player is the mouse.
Oh my god, the Juke is going to be 2-1 and they actually finally get killed off with 3 down inside the Sunset, but no one on the tower. That's the main thing. No one on the Squid has the tower right now, so they can't really go further on the push. But one thing to know is about Squid has 2 killer whale weapons, the 52 and the Violent Blaster, so they're mostly going to go for it. Like, everyone needs to get off the tower now because because it's a small map, but everyone is on Squid is staying nearby the tower instead of aggressing off until now, with Minty actually being the one aggressing off, but not really going for a full sync at the one, but Sunshine's going to be doing that instead.
Yeah, of course. And the thing about 52 gal, which is a different wall weapon from 96, is that even though both weapons are great at holding areas and just kind of like, I feel like 52 is being a much more aggressive weapon. And what we saw there, how the 52 was able to kind of like get at least a little bit of value by going up and trying to annoy whoever's up on the bats there. It does look like, however, they did have to move out, of course. And with those 2 players down on the side of Star Squids, Sunset is going to be looking to get a little bit more control here. They haven't got any points in the game just yet, but they do have all of mid to play around with at the moment.
Yeah, going from the last game too, what happened before was Star Squids had the lead first, but Sunset kept on going, chipping away slowly but surely. So
Mhm.
for Sunset, they were going to be playing the rating game first, but for right now, again, the only difference this time was Sunset is getting killed off more and more than last game as before, with Star Squids having more specials and the Kraken being the last one alive. They really can't follow up with any of that instead. So yeah, Chevy's getting a double there.
Yeah, it was huge. You can see how 3 players have already gone down. They're going to be using that as an opportunity to actually take their plat once again and kind of like just paint up their bats from a safe distance to stop them from being able to quickly move into those positions there. Zuka also helping them out here. We can see that the amount of ping that Sunset has is going to be stopping them from being able to actually move in. But Inari is already in that very good position to pressure the tower and to pressure like anyone who's trying to get onto that tower there, because that is a very hard checkpoint to break. It already looks like, however, Sunset is trying to force them back as much as possible. But I think Star Squids, the positions they had there were just too strong for Sunset to really do anything without these specials coming out.
It is a difference on night day as you see by now, with Sunset actually getting cut off. The Zap being gone to don't have no cooler, but it looks like for the rest of Sunset, they were playing so ahead that the Star Squids were not able to actually plan to get it in that corner, have them all baited away. But Chepri actually played the Kraken once again. Everyone else is going to advantage. They actually get the lead again in the late game.
Yeah, okay, so that was a fantastic Kraken play, especially when you start moving onto that plat. This is where you really have to
Oh.
start focusing the tower. It does look like they do manage to get the wipe out once the Kraken had died, however, but that is going to be the lead switch that you mentioned, all the way down to 27 as well. That was a fantastic push. The Kraken definitely helping out. I feel like that's maybe the second or even third time we've seen Kraken make some very, very good plays, at least to prevent either, or to create some kind of opening for their team, or to prevent the other team from the defending team from being able to actually defend properly.
Definitely. As we see right now, again, 2 down inside Squad, 3 down inside Storage Squids. The last one being Noe going to be saying back, pinning a little bit with the line marker, but they actually get found out because of that too. That's the disadvantage of the line marker if you do it too far. But 44 seconds left on the map. Again, we just look at the map. There's so much steel on it that really for the side Squad, they don't have anything to move. They don't have any pain, unfortunately, because they have the 2 kill rail. They have the try to play it off, but again, the timing right now is pretty crucial because they need to get a kill off. They need to kill the Kraken. They need to kill the cooler if because they don't get quick respawns from that. But they do play it off. They're going to be like spacing away a little bit of Sunset right now. Everyone on Sunset is staying in their like nearby the statue. 1 down already, 14 seconds left, 2 down already. They're pushing it now. What do you think is going to happen, Lily?
Ooh, it looks like they actually managed to get a pick with the whale there. So I think they've actually successfully, in these last few seconds going to overtime, managed to actually take control over Sunset's bats, which is absolutely crucial. The thing is that Kraken is going to be coming out, and these Tri Strikes won't be able to deal with the Kraken, because of course there's the invincibility. And already is the last one alive on that tower, getting taken out. We can see the Squid, the Kraken, rather victoriously, and also I think kind of feeling very satisfied with itself, sitting on the tower at the very end, claiming it for the victory.
Yep, that was the 5th Kraken that they had, and they finally got to play it off and actually got to show it in time. Sunset winning the match 2-0, but again, this is not the whole story because this is play all 3. And since it is play all 3, this is going to be the difference for Star Squids to get either Hammerhead, Mako, or even in Lantern, because in play all 3, there is tiebreakers in groups. So if you do win a certain game against someone and you do end up in a tie, that matters.
Absolutely. So it's not necessarily going to be that looking too bad for the Star Squids at the moment. They do have Rainmaker and Undertow Spillway, where they can certainly show what they are made of. And I think that they were able to get like pretty good amount of space, especially at the end of that game, and definitely knew what they wanted to do. It's just that like when Sunset was coming back at the end of the day, they were just able to like push them off with their specials, and I think that was pretty much the thing that prevented that overtime from going any longer than it did. The thing about Rainmaker Undertow Spillway is that it plays out definitely a lot in those, after that first checkpoint, there are those uninkable areas which you really need the support from the rest of your team to be able to control hard, especially if you have something like a weapon that plays with wall. That can be fantastic against the defending team in terms of just being able to hold those areas and to help win a fight in order to push the Rainmaker forwards after that first checkpoint. But of
Like that,
course, yes.
of
Sorry,
course.
I was interrupting. But
No,
but
no,
of
no,
course,
of course. What happens?
um,
What's gonna happen?
oh yeah, but of course, once you actually win those fights, those like respawning players can actually come back pretty quickly, and with that disadvantage you have from those uninkable areas, you can kind of get taken out, and it can be difficult if you're playing against like a Booyah, if you're playing against a whale, if you're playing against a team that can actually go in and take advantage of your disadvantage you have when you're pushing objective here pretty well. And it takes a long time, a lot of time and effort to even try and get a knockout. I think I've only ever seen knockouts happen here off the back of like 3 plays down or a wipeout or something.
It is usually when a wipeout happens, one's going to go down towards you, so that's going to be a good start for Sunset. But I think we were going to say about the white side, because as we mentioned before, or some people mentioned before, usually people might be good. It might be a good idea for people to actually paint on the white side because it's already there. But that's going to be like a farm heavy. That's going to be a battle heavy battleground, so it's going to be really hard to like stale it out. So most likely it's just a one and done situation first. But we do see on the side of Swords, it's 3 down. Again, it's a good advantage for Sunset right now. But the Kraken is going to be killing off with the timer, so there's going to be no push-up. They need to wait a little bit. Sunset is going to be once again playing the stall game. They will be playing the wait game. But for Soy Squids, they have the Tetra Dualies this time.
Yeah, okay, so the Tetra Dualies are going to be an interesting choice here, I think. It's definitely a weapon that you can go in with and be pretty aggressive with, but get some pretty good trades as well, which of course are going to be a great distraction. Does look like how the Zuka is going to be, oh my goodness, is Blue going to be able to survive with this Rainmaker? Looks like eventually those specials weren't able to take them out, but that crossfire certainly did. 2 players down. They haven't been able to get too many points just yet, but oh my goodness, what did we just see there? 3 players went down all at once.
Yeah, the 3 down player going down is going to be helped by Chef and the shot as well, but the ball player going to be down in a trade-off. Droid as well. Playing the end zap is going to play is actually playing a really good zap because they are actually staying alive as much as possible. They're playing for chip damage instead of playing aggressive, so playing the actual support that you can play in this game. But also at the same time for the Rainmaker, there is so many people just staying in staggered in the middle. It's just a full-on turf war at this point, or it's just a zones game. Because again, people are trying to go left. No one deciding, oh, like, should we go middle, should we go right? The Rainmaker carrier has been always at the back, waiting for the perfect time instead of trying to aggress and just take a sacrifice just for points.
Yeah, of course, and you do really want to win a fight before you start pushing. It does look like the things that we're seeing are more or less trades here happening in mid, which doesn't, we do see like a lot of Rainmaker here especially play out outside of mid, but most of this game seems to happen in mid at the moment. And you were actually mentioning the left side, like which side to take it. The left side is usually, I think, the safer side to take it in the early game in particular if you don't have a wipeout. Because it is further away from where the defending team is respawning in from, and of course it just gives you a little bit more time to get those points. But once again, if you have all of your players being able to collapse in on that left side as well and be able to control that little elbow there as well, it can be very difficult to even get that first checkpoint, which sometimes having the quicker just dash to that right checkpoint, which we're seeing Blue do right now, is gonna be the play that gets you more points. They didn't actually even get that checkpoint, but we saw how that kind of played out, how the decision as to whether you're gonna be taking it left or right is gonna come down to a factor of like where the fight's playing out, where the team is going to be able to move to defend it as well. And it does look like, even though that Zuka definitely kind of shut that push down, the rest of the team were already around the left side preparing to defend from there, which meant that they were able to get down to 62, not get the checkpoint itself, but close enough.
Yeah, again, like saying about it, it's better for the early game to go for the left side because it's the less inkable and going far away as
Mhm.
possible. Like that makes a lot of sense. For side of Sunset, they mostly should have the thought by now going right too, because like for the side of Charge Grids, as them getting like always battered up on the left, they knew it was predictable because everyone usually goes left, just like in Manta
Mhm.
Maria. But for right now, it's they finally actually go right, and Sunset actually gets the checkpoint, which gives them a lead. Again, like I said before. Them playing the patient game instead of playing the aggressive game. Keep on trading it off back and forth, but the Rainmaker getting popped by the Source Creator with the Rainmaker, but no one picking it up though. Do they know they not have lead?
Yeah, I'm wondering. It does look like they do manage to pick it up here, but I think being able to actually start moving ahead and have the space ready for them to move to is going to be fantastic. Just to make sure that Sunset doesn't come in too quickly and take them out. Who's going to have to survive this
Oh,
once again? Looks like they get taken up by the Zuka this time. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make that left checkpoint, but no one from Sunset is at the left checkpoint to contest them at that moment because I think they were just assuming that Blue is going to be taking it to the right side. And with only a few seconds left, it's who's going to be able to dash this further forward first, and it does look like with that 1 point, just being able to grab that Rainmaker, get that pop in the very end, it does look like the Star Squids are going to be winning that crucial game by 1 point, by a score of 40 to 41 in the favor of the Star Squids. That's going to be helping them out, as you mentioned, in those tiebreakers going forward.
yeah, I really like how Noah at the last second did a wave picker when it was when it was like a 3v2 situation with Sunset actually doing all shots in action, but because the wave picker is basically another attack on the barrier itself, so that's how they were able to pop it off instead of decided Sunset actually getting the kills and getting the double in that scenario and going to be ending the game right there. But for the Source Grids, like winning off by 1 point, that is still really good. Again, if in the tiebreaker scenario of Sunset with the Swords, in case Sunset loses one like single match or something, in that it would be a three-way tiebreaker. So
Hmm.
who knows if they will be moving on or not. But in the Swords with the Sunset scenario, they will be winning in that tiebreaker. But also I wanted to say one thing as well. There was 4 resets in that Mimic game.
Hmm.
4.
Look, I'm so glad you're keeping track of these things because like I'm focused on like watching the map, watching like what's happening on screen and just trying to figure out where people are moving to, what their positions are and stuff like that. And you're there kind of like counting all these fantastic like stats about okay, how many crackers have been popped, how many Rainmaker resets there have been. It's good data to know, of course. Like and thinking about it, it's kind of interesting to get that like that perspective on the game blade results. So, yeah, thank you for keeping track because I'm certainly not doing that.
Guess the meeting is fun, but in that certain scenario of like of our trio of our duo when commentating,
Hmm.
like you're definitely it like a little bit of commentator tips for anyone who wants to get into commentary. There was a thing called color commentary and play by play. In our scenario, Lily, you are play by play, and I'm going to be
Hmm.
the color in that sense. So if you want
Yes.
to know anything about commentary for duos, have that certain dynamic, and you'll be able to find out like what you should be focusing on. But yeah, that's just a little bit about commentary, but sounds like for the Star Squids, that round's over. Maybe we might see Bucket soon, but maybe not. We can just talk about it if we want to.
Yeah, we could actually. If we go take a look at the brackets soon. Actually, for those following along in the stream chat, of course you can go !bracket, and that is going to be giving. And I believe also there's a pinned comment which can provide some information to you about how things are going and the updates in real time as to what's happening in Nessie's pools too. It's always
Yes,
very
just
interesting to look at because, of course, we can't stream everything here. We can only stream a few things, and especially when all of these teams are playing. And I believe, do we have a full? I don't think we have even any drops at all. So this is going to be a full
add
64 teams and
uh,
like 66 registered as well.
um
Um,
actually we do have one. We have like we have two
we
drops.
we
We
have two
have two
drops. Oh, we do
drops.
have two drops. Okay, so Honeymoon Avenue dropped. And Refresh dropped. Okay, so those are the two drops, which means that the other teams who signed up for the tournament as well may possibly. I'm not actually not sure how it works because I've never been in that situation before where I've signed up for a tournament and that
And
that and I haven't been able to get in.
To get in?
Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you
to
mean by
get in,
getting in?
being cut off, like the registrations closed because there are too many teams. I haven't been in that situation.
Oh. Oh, okay. So in that situation, is like once there is 64 teams that the teams have
Hmm.
registered, it that once the 64 teams cap has actually registered, and there is people like more signing up, there is
Hmm.
gonna be a certain wait list. And once the wait list has happened, and the people who didn't check in is not checking in, the people from the wait list comes in, and that's how they
Hmm.
play. But if they just come in to play like 1 run and then drop, it's really unfortunate for the team to sign up and wanted to go for the full way, but
Yeah,
they
of
didn't.
course.
Best priority. But the one thing as well about the whole 64 team thing, we definitely need to do one thing and say about the new Nintendo guidelines and about the
True,
future
true.
comments.
That's something I've been thinking about as well, because there's that limit that like Nintendo kind of prefer teams to have those guidelines, of course.
Hmm. The certain guidelines is having 300 player limit,
Hmm.
so that's why you see for IPL events currently for right now, everything is capped to team register of 64, and you can only have 4 people sign up on the roster just to meet that guidelines.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is though, like a lot of teams also like playing with more than 4 plays if they want to be able to like sub people in. That's the thing, right? But you
Hmm.
typically see that in like much longer tournaments like low ink, where there's like a day one and a day two. And of course if some players are um not able to necessarily make all of day two and or something like that, then of course subs can come in and play for them, of course. And I know that's happened in my case. I think once I played, and in day two I couldn't come, unfortunately, so they had someone else come in. But yeah, of course, when you have very long tournaments like that, having those extra plays on the roster can be very helpful, just to give some people a little bit of a break. Actually, speaking of teams and rosters, we are seeing at the moment on the screen Super Team 5 and Sub Power Up.
So I can say about these two
Hmm.
teams are the 4 they didn't make playoffs.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really all I can
Okay,
say.
that's where they are. So Div 4, no playoffs. So we might see something pretty close between them. Anyway, I feel like I've definitely seen some fantastic matches from Sub Power Up, and also from these playing on Super Team 5 as well. Definitely watch out for Okimi on, I believe Okimi is a Carbon Deco
Carbon
player. So
roller player. Yeah.
Carbon Roller player, yeah. So that's of course, man. Carbon Roller is definitely something that you have to have your map painted up either for or against, really. Because if you're playing
Yeah.
on Ogumi's team, you really have to enable the Carbon to go in with a well painted map. And if you want to defend from that, you really don't want to have a Carbon popping out from a patch of ink and just taking out 2 players on sub power up either.
Yeah, and that's mostly gonna be a disadvantage for Mega Mart. But honestly, like about the whole, like going real quick about the whole 64 team limit thing. You know how many pickups we have in this tournament? Like, it's over
A lot of.
half. It's over half of this tournament.
Mhm.
So that's going with the 4 team limit. That's going with the 4 player limit. So they're going to be
Yeah.
like a lot of pickups as we see right now. But going back to the whole thing, yeah, Okimi with Mega Mart, you do not want to play against them in that. You're gonna be lunch swarmed
Oh, yeah,
100%.
I didn't even look. I did not even look. It is Makamak clams, and that can be a pretty back and forth, because it is such a short route from one side to the other in terms of just where the clam baskets are. And you were mentioning, of course, ledge being ledge camped there by Okimi as well. It's something that sub power up definitely has to watch out for.
Hmm. For the side of sub power up though, Gazical, if I remember correctly, is going to be playing Blob or Sniper. I do
Hmm.
not remember 100%, but it's one of those two. Quirky, if I remember correctly, as a shot player.
Hmm.
Mizu coming back from again, always helping out with CCA. Same with DOF. Shouts to them for that. Shot player, if I remember correctly, from Purdue. They basically sub power up if you don't know it correctly, if you don't remember them. I tap. Splatoon, they are basically the graduate version of them.
Yeah, so we definitely have a fantastic roster of players on both ends, and I think you were mentioning Karaki on the shot. That's definitely going to be a pretty good paint support, and also I believe Blob can get a lot of paint output, especially with that chip damage from the Ink Storm as well as a special, just to kind of like move out any shocking carbon rollers. That can certainly be pretty useful against that in any case. But I gotta say, like, you really want to have that paint support as well, just to shut down any of those shark and carbon rolls as well. And also, like, if you are on a team with a carbon roller, it's all about keeping that paint up as well. I feel like both teams really got to keep your paint up. Thing about Makama as well, one of the big things here is that, and we're talking about Clan Blitz earlier, and we were seeing Clan Blitz on stream, how even if you do have quite a lot of paint and win fights and start pushing forward, you also gotta have your clams at the ready. You gotta have your clam economy. You gotta have a lot of clams to be able to make pretty big pushes here. And of course, there are lots of spots to defend those pushes from here on Macromart because of all those high ground areas looking down into Freezer, looking down onto the basket. You can get kind of collapsed on a little bit if you are not too careful. But the other great thing that about those areas is that you've got a pretty nice little flank that you can make really good use for. And I kind of expect almost to see Okumi on the carbon kind of like sneak up around sub power up side of the map and try to like take out those defending players if there is like either a clam coming into the basket or getting something prepared, just to make those openings very clear for Super Team 5 to get some big scores in as well. So that's something definitely to watch out for as well. I think Mekama is great in terms of that particular flank route. Even though it's a pretty obvious flank route, I think it's a really useful one. And if you don't have your eye on it, or if you do have your eye on it, that is like one eye looking elsewhere from where the other team might be looking, and having that like diverted attention can also at least come in a little bit useful when you're pushing as well.
Yeah, definitely. But really, as we're waiting for the people to come into the room, or bit the monitor actually already done now. Like for Super Team 5, they might just have anything in action. Like they have their plan set up. They're going to be hopefully playing around Okami, but for sub power up, like how do we play it off against Okami, as we have basically been talking about the sneaks. Like who's going to be staying around there? Like, is everyone going to be like for sub power up being an OG team for Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3? And for Super Team 5 not having that much history, for Splatoon 2 maybe coming around like in the end year of Splatoon 2 going to Splatoon 3, the experience could be here, but like oh, are we going to be predicting on stage? Wait, Okami's not playing Carbon?
Oh, okay, ignore everything we just said then. Ignore everything we just said. We're seeing Forge Pro come out, which is an interesting choice. Not something you see very often, because I always feel like if you're going to be playing Booyah Bomb, you might want to be choosing a slightly different weapon in any case. But we are actually seeing that Forge Pro come out anyway, and of course with the range that you get from the Forge Pro, it's still going to benefit from the rest of the other team's paint. Of course, it is going to be great at least applying that kind of dangerous pressure from a distance, not kind of up close like I expected from like a carbon roll. But however, sub power up with those two players haven't got down to Super Team 5, and with another pick on Afro here, Gazigal is going to be holding on to this clam, getting it in as well, getting that first push down as Super Team 5. Two players have been respawning here. We can see how actually how cleanly they're able to take out Super Team 5's defenses just by being able to hold the area, especially from that Brella shield, providing that extra bit of support for them to be able to move up and take and hold those areas with. This has been a fantastic push. Kareki coming out with the inkjet just to keep that going even longer. That was something that, like, if you want to see how to make like a good clan push and actually hold back a team for an extended period of time, that's something to go and look back on.
Yeah, and honestly, and also some of my bad games ago, I forgot that they've been playing Tantamara all ever since the story, and honestly,
Uh-huh.
it's been really good that they've been committing to that. So that means we can see the tech
Mhm.
that they did because Gates at the start of the match at like 4 minutes 10 seconds, they got a triple actually in support of their
Mhm.
teammates, and actually for right now we can see that they're still going on. Gates has been alive for basically 1 minute 20 seconds the whole game, and then for the back with the back blast and them getting double, we see the roller here as well from Ashram. They've been just playing more about the sneaky shark. They're playing that shovel who was actually legend in the corner that Okami could have done a requirement role actually instead. So it's going to be playing to their advantage. Also for some power up. Again, we saw them get 2 scores in. The first one going down to 64 because RNG of Clan Baskets has been really good for them. They got it all the way down to the bottom half. But with 2 down again for some power up, they had always 1 up either way over one half because they can't find them, which is really good on the side of sub power up because they kept getting an aggression or kept on getting the seats. But for right now, for Super Team 5, Dreadwinger and Pro is a really kind of thick, but they could be push-ins. Dreadwinger is going to be having the most clams, but who knows what's going to
Mhm.
be going over the push slowly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Super Team 5 don't have like a traditional backline, but they've got 3 weapons that can fulfill
Wait,
that like that range that they kind of miss out on. Otherwise, it looks like they do manage to get a. Or did they miss that as they kind
they
of
missed that.
try to
They
go?
did miss
Okay,
that in
but
the
they do
story.
manage to actually get a lead with them being able to sneak that climb in the end anyway. And with that 44 to 37 score, this is actually going to be Super Team 5 having to go back and respawn and push correctly off that stack. You really want to be able to hold that stack if you want to start setting up another push. And even if they do have a power climb here, and they can definitely get something going. We can see already the Brella Shield's coming
Oh,
out just to try and support their Brella play going ahead, and also the rest of the team looks like they already have control of that stack once again. Also, that pick that we saw from the Inkjet was absolutely going to be fantastic just to help them get that lead switch. And we can see the numbers going down here at the moment. Duran, it does look like we might even be seeing a knockout if they can actually get some players in to help out. Gasical
Mizu?
here is staying alive once
Mizu?
again. And it does look
Get.
like they do get the knockout in the end.
Yeah, Mizu was being the one who collect clams at the end to actually get the score in, while Gezuko has been the distraction basically for the whole game, getting
Yeah.
going all of Super Team Prime to go against them. Because honestly, I can kind of say why maybe for Okimi at least. Okimi has been playing with or playing against my teammate who plays Senabel a lot, so they know like how I tend to plays against or plays with. So in that scenario, if you know how they tend to players who knows it very well and you see them play very well, you would want to stack up on them because they're going to be the main question, the main danger of the whole thing, other
Mhm.
than the other meta weapons.
Yeah, actually, before that match started, I just remembered I was talking about how Akimi could be like a dangerous carbon roller, especially when you have that flank route. You want to keep an eye on that. It was actually on the side of sub power up, Gasical with the Brella doing exactly the play that I expected. Expected to not only help them get those power clams in, but actually it was playing around diverting the attention. I know you mentioned that Gasical managed to get that clean triple early on in the game, but it's the diverting attention that is going to be throwing off the defending team in that one, I think.
Yeah, but also about the sneaky shark with Okimi, that was actually split up with Gatskull and Ashram.
Hmm.
We cannot count off the bowler from Ashram who was playing that sneak. It was actually playing well,
Hmm.
playing the aggressor on the ledge farm and doing that pretty successfully until basically the end point that it made to the 44 points with 1 push for Super Team 5 who had RNG really well. But again, because of getting the kills off so many times from sub power up, again Gatskull being good distraction to do the 3-1 instead of getting 4 points on the side of Super Team 5, that's where they ended it up that way.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see actually if they can keep up that tactic, just hold forward, that just like hold those aggressive forward positions as well, going into splat zones, barnacle and dime, because of course this can be a dangerous lockout if you manage to actually make really good use of those areas as well and stop the defenders from being able to kind of push back out as well. And we saw how well they were making those flanks work on Clanblade Smackama. You don't really have flanks in the same kind of way here on Barnacle and Dime. In fact, I kind of go so far to say that once you get to those lockout positions that you really want to get the defending team in on Barnacle and Dime, it's not really so much of a flank because you kind of see everything happening. You can't really get around the back of them too easily anyway. Without like you will be noticed, and the entire team can kind of collapse on you if you start pushing up too far ahead. So there is that kind of that sweet spot, I think.
Yeah, the sweet spot for Warlords, that's not gonna be a good thing for them. So Astro might be switching it up, but they might be saying it for the bubble, but for the side of sub power, remember they still have the blaster. The blaster is gonna be huge on Inkable. Because you can just get chip damage, and you can get cut off by that way. But also, just one thing to know that this is gonna be the big one map for the new update, and also Okami playing Carbon on this one. What? Oh wait, Trizuka.
Yep. Calvin Trizuka. Also, opening Gambit, an interesting, not something you necessarily see all the time. So, Okami's probably going to be playing to try and get a number of early picks, hopefully, in this game. No one has died just yet, though, and we're already more than halfway through the window of opportunity. It does look like 2 players have gone down inside of sub power up. Super Team 5 is going to be looking to lock them out and forcing that jump out back to spawn as well. We can see how already they have pushed so far forward here.
Oh my god, the clock!
Oh my goodness, what on earth is going on?
Okay, so you can go back to about putting your head because that little block is the stepping stone for going in and making that lockout, which is happening right now. But 2 down, that was Astrum actually getting a double on the snipe, and also Astrum getting the 3rd one, so that's going to be a KO. Basically on the side of Super Team 5, and also opening Gambit on the side of Kokimi, that immediately got demolished after the 1st kill. So RIP Kokimi on their plan for that. But for right now, the stag and the stalemate, the takedown, the whole camping situation on the side of sub power up is going to be happening right now with the hammer coming out for Koiki, but I think they found the water almost. Well, 2 down on the side of sub power up again. The wave pick on the side of Astrum actually was a huge lead. The Stamper going in play, but then getting sniped off by the leader. But again, with the Dreadwinger's Weave Slider, they were able to catch the zone once again.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing how like the kind of value they're getting out of each side here, just to like at least momentarily become a distraction pushed up against sub power up, but also just being able to take the zone back again. Does look like just jumping out once again just to try and make sure they're staying alive here, because you do not want to be going down, especially as sub power up is trying to come back and retake the zone, and you're nearly out of penalty points. This looks like they do want to be holding this lead even stronger for even longer. It does look like, however, they're still managing to stay alive, jumping out once again just to not die here, but sub power up managed to take the zone for themselves, and we are seeing Gaze will come out with the help of that Relish Shield just to try and hold this area, but Koreki is going to be getting a peek here, so hopefully they can continue this forward momentum that they have even further. Looking around for another one with the hammer. Will they get it? Does look like they do end up getting cancelled, but that is not going to be the end of their push just yet until Super Team 5 manages to cap it. Does look like they are going to get a Zuka in the face. Those 3 players have gone down on the side of Super Team 5. Sub power up hopefully can continue this hold even longer.
Gazico is going to go up in the spawn once again on the side of Super Team 5, going to be a little bit of distraction like they did for the Mikoma again, going to be waiting it out a little bit, waiting for the right call to make them all bunch up together for the rest of the team to sub out to 12 bombs. Obviously, so far you see with the Viper actually doing in the torpedoes a lot more time and time, just trying to go for the ledge bomb as well. They're going to get the lead soon enough in a matter of like 10 seconds or so. There was no tri-check on the zone because it was too far away, so it gives sub power actually the lead right there, but everyone else on sub power up actually still in the zone. There's going to be 1 left, but the wave pick I think was still there, so it gave them a little bit of time for Astrum to snipe to fall back a little bit. Oh wow,
yeah,
okay, Kimmy.
Okay, Ogami getting the Zuka out there, managed to get a pick on those respawns from Sub Power Up. Sub Power Up have got a lot of work to do at the moment to be able to come back in, because Super Team 5 is absolutely showing their aggression once again, and they're definitely threatening that lead that Sub Power Up managed to get. It does look like they are going to be able to get a lead switch happening once again, as Super Team 5 are still trying to come back in. That hammer, that Ultra Stamp is going to be looking around for something, but that at least
Huh?
is going to be paving the opportunity for them to be able to preventing that knockout from happening. Is going to this final minute. This is one heck of a tight match.
This is a heck of a tight match for sure, with the Viper actually staying alive in that certain scenario, trying to actually finding a fit against a 3v1, trying to cap the zone, which actually did help a lot for somehow to get that final point. But with the handicaps for both sides, again, the handicap was so low that for either side that they can't get the lead so far. With the 1 point meme going inside Super Team 5, they do have tries of nope, never mind, that's a KO. That's a wipeout. There's going to be sub power up actually going in for 2-0.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that wipeout was everything. It was that
Yeah,
wipeout at the end. That was everything. That
yeah.
wipeout was everything. That's all it was. That wipeout was everything they needed. That's all they needed. Super Team 5 absolutely threatened their lead and actually managed to get a lead on sub power up going into that final minute. Super Team 5 nearly managed to get that knockout as well, getting the score all the way down to 1. But my goodness, sub power up managed to hang on by a thread and climbed that thread with all of their strength without it breaking even, just to be able to come back, get that wipeout and get that knockout win at the end. My goodness, what incredible show of force from both teams there actually. But you know what, sub power up, I fully expected Super Team 5 to win that. Like the way we've been seeing them play throughout almost all of that game.
Yeah, it was so close, but again, the main thing at the end is getting the whole lockout, getting the whole kills at the right time, which in the scenario of Super Team 5, they weren't actually able to do that because, again, Gazical and Ashram, both scenarios in the time that it was crucial, they were able to cancel it out. They were both alive. Gazical came up to the base at the end, they were being distracted, they mostly got the kill at the end with the help of Mizu and to get the win at the end, but for the side of Ashram being the E-leader. Again, the Waybreakers, the double and snipes, like any kind of pick that they got, they were able to help the rest of sub power follow up on it and cap the zone. While for Super Team 5, again, they were following up with Creamy. That was really good that they were doing that as well. But Megcog as well, they were following up with the Dreadwinger. They were doing the combo specials. But the only situation as well was just because of the Slosher like timing with the Dreadwinger, it's a really weird timing. Like, it's really good that Megcog is trying to push it in the scene, but with the really weird timing, you need to like play off that a little bit to play in and get kills. You need to be a double team with that to get kills.
Yeah, for sure. There are, being able to get those kills is going to be so. It's like the main thing that you're thinking about here on Splatoon. It's the main thing that you want to do. Of course, it's like getting those picks is what you need to do on all the other modes as well in order to play objective. But once you've got objective, like the only thing you're thinking about is getting those picks. It's certainly going to be different. I know we've actually spoken about what makes tower control unique in the very first set. Okimi is actually switching up again to the 96 Deco. Okay, 96 Deco coming back and looking like they're going to be playing specifically for Kraken. Looking at the build here as well. Okay, so that's going to be kind of interesting.
That is going to be kind of interesting, but for the side of Kimmy, like knowing that they can play the Carbon on that point, it's kind of unfortunate they weren't able to play that. But automatically, it's going to be proving me wrong because to get a kill off the end zap, there's going to be no cooldown on the side of that. But mostly, Okami just going to go full on aggro. They're mad.
Yeah, absolutely. Sub power up still has a pretty good lead here. It does look like they're not going to be contested by much, but Super Team 5 is already getting into position on that top, under that tent as well, just to try and push them out. But Gazical is going to be coming out with the Zuka just to try and force them back. And of course, this is the hold that they want to have in order to get this next checkpoint. Once again, it does look like, that Brilla Shoes are going to be coming in clutch for them. Also, that was a nice snipe from Kareki here on the Wiper using the Ultra Stamp.
Yeah, again, go to the last checkpoint now as well for Sub Hub. Again, the feistiness of Super Team 5 wasn't able to really do much unless there is someone on the tower. We're 3 down on the side of Super Team 5. Again, mostly the person on top. Kureki still staying alive the whole time. Ashram being the one to snipe it off. Geisuke mostly jumped over and get some kills. So just being some menace, some kind of fear in the side of Super Team 5. Kureki just going to just doing the stamp in the corner. Maybe getting killed. They did get a kill actually on the side of Super Team 5. This is most going to just be it because the crew are going to be dodging any shots as possible on tower.
Wow. Okay, we were talking about like I kind of brought it up slightly before this match started. We were talking about how in the very first match that we saw this swim or sink this week, how tower control has a particular rate because the tower moves at a particular rate, right? So where your fights are happening are going to be slowly kind of inching forwards where you want to be able to control. The map is going to be like the priority area is going to be changing at a set rate, slowly inching forward, of course. But what we saw there was like sub power up. It didn't feel like it was a slow inch forward because of how consistently they were actually able to take up that space so aggressively as well and constantly force Super Team 5 back into the respawn, that respawn stagger loop as well. So it didn't feel like a steady game. It felt like an absolute steamroll.
It was a landslide for sure because, as I said at the start, with Okami playing 96, they were mad. So they were mostly playing with the mindset of like, oh, we definitely need to win this. Like, we need to do something. We can't get 3-0 on stream. So in that scenario, they were trying to play more on range, trying to play more together, like playing more structure as well. But in that scenario, with sub power up again, having Astrum with the E leader. And with E leader getting snipes on the concession area, as you said before, with tower, because all the battle moves tower, and with against and with Mizu and working on Viper, quickly, I'm getting really good plays on stream as I'm getting double getting triple, helping with the Viper as well. That was huge. But okay, Lily might be muted because we'll see something what happened. But yeah, that's gonna be it for 3. Welcome back, Lily.
Yeah, that is gonna be it for round 3. It has been 3. It has been 3 rounds actually, so that means that the seeding and stuff will be taking place for the bracket stage. Now we have Nessie's pools around 3 up on screen at the moment, so we can actually see how things are going. Not every single map has gone through. Match has gone through yet.
Look how many drops that happened. oh my gosh. Immediately after Super Team 5 dropped from the tournament, Breakdown dropped as well. Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess that like sometimes going into the I know this is a weekly tournament, so like not necessarily so either sometimes you feel like, okay, yeah, let's go and let's play bracket stage as well, or sometimes like because it is a weekly, of course, sometimes things come up for certain players and teams, and of course, like considering that there is that, like, with the new Nintendo guidelines or whatever, you do have like a 4 players maximum per team to really sign up. That sometimes there can be issues, of course, regarding not having like the extra players in your roster to actually go and continue. So like sometimes teams may have to drop for that as well. But of course, there may be a multitude of different reasons. But if you do sign up for Swim or Sync, you can sign up as a sub, can't you? I believe.
Yeah, I think you can sign up as a sub for SOS, but you can like maybe for the rule for SOS, if I remember correctly, you can't get anyone as a sub unless when you go to help after them and say like, oh, this one's gonna be a sub. So that mostly would be it for that if they were having anyone, but mostly as well mentality is the other reason, like trying to get for a certain bracket. But in that scenario, trying to get a certain bracket, that's why people drop as well. But
Yeah, of
also,
course. Yeah, that's kind of like the elephant in the room. That's kind of like the reason I didn't want to say, because I didn't want to like, I didn't want to like
yeah.
accuse teams of like feeling like, oh, you didn't get the bracket you want. But yeah, that can make like the first stage of the bracket. Uh, there will be teams that will be getting buys in that first round as well.
Hmm. But in that scenario, like with the drops, for the people who drop on pools, it's basically GG go next because there
Hmm.
is always another team they can do better. There is always
Yeah,
next
of
week.
course.
That's mostly the mentality for that. It would be GG go next. But
Yeah, yeah, of course,
also,
of course.
but I have to mention Group B, Torrent, Forgotten, Marine Melody, Forgotten being Torrent, the winners of last SOS, 2-1.
Wow.
That just made a three-way tiebreaker in Group B.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that is interesting. I'm gonna take a look at the standings actually. So Group B still on the looking at Battlefy actually. I'm looking at Battlefy for this. Group B actually has, even though that three-way tiebreaker is there, we do still that does mean that Marine Melody, Forgotten, and Torrent are tied 2-1 of those, with Bonnie squinting with three set losses at the moment. That is interesting.
Look at Group B as well. Another
Hmm.
three-way tiebreaker from Flowerpot, Eminem, and Ink Black.
Yeah, Flowerpot has been doing really well, grinding out tournaments lately. I'm not sure if they have Mox on the roster, which I know is a fantastic um, Octobrush player to watch out for, but the kind of frontline pairing of Mox and Mocha as well, and Flowerpot is a force to be reckoned with. I believe, did they come I think third in a Squid Junction a little while, like a week and a half ago or something like that. And
Yes, I
I
think
can't
so.
remember I can't remember where they came in Silver Sync last week, but they placed pretty highly as well, I believe.
I think they did go to Great White back as well in
Hmm.
top four, maybe. I'm not percent for sure, so don't count us up for facts on that. But they were doing really well. We should shout out as well two things. Group I, 1111 Make a Wish, has dropped in a 2-1 scenario. So Ink
Oh, okay.
95 and Grisco Union Buster is going to be moving up a bracket, and also Double Productions. The meme that
That
we're saying that is not actually by Double Productions. Why not say the score right now in the group in Group L?
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that as well. Okay, so that is going to be interesting going forward too.
Great White, 3-0.
Are we
Oh
seeing
my
yeah,
gosh.
we're seeing these live updates happen in Nessie's pools for round 3 at the moment as well. I'm just trying to look at, so it does look like Sub and Turf have actually won 3 sets. They'll be making Great White. Make a Wish, when having gone 2-1, are gonna be dropping. This is in group this is in group I as well.
Yeah.
Looking at some other teams we have mentioned, does look like Honda Squid will be making a Great White as well. Shushi also continuing on to Great White as well. It does look like things are looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, also teams as well, Light Bloom, Sunset we saw in stream previous rounds, Half-Life, EP going on. Going on to go to Grey White. Mount Orca
Mhm.
Balustra going 1 to 2 Toilet Time, a little bit of a funny name going to the 1, go into Hammerhead. Something I said before, Elongate. The 3 team, if I remember correctly, is going to be going on to Grey White Sugar Rush, a pickup going on to Hammerhead, going on to Grey White. Day 15, a pickup going on to Grey White. 7th Heaven, a team that has been grinding on for a lot for SOS, but not really making past round 2. Maybe it's the time to shine this time for Grey White bracket. Gaming, pickup, going on to Grey White as well. And Velocity, a pretty strong team going on to Grey White as well. Exciting
Yeah,
top 16
absolutely.
right
This
here.
this is this is going to be an exciting Great White that you definitely want to stick around for.
Yeah, as we're going to be
Very, very
going on
exciting.
breaks. We're going to go on break, right, Lily? You want to take a little
I
bit
think,
of a break?
yeah, I think we go. We haven't taken a break yet, so this might be a good time. Also, for people in chat, if you want to stretch your legs and make sure you are absolutely refreshed to watch Top Cut, which will be coming after this short break. We'll see you
Yep.
around.
Yep. Get some water. Get some food.
And welcome back, everyone, to Swim or Sink number 129. I'm Lily, Creepy Bread. You can just call me Lily, and I'm here with Jorian. How are you doing today, Jorian? We're going to be taking you just through the first round of Top Cut before the commentator swap.
Yeah, tonight is gonna be now great fight bracket of SMS 129 is pretty hype. We saw the previous rounds. You see the bracket as well. There's a little bit of a new name right there in the bracket. First time showing for great fight. And that's gonna be EP3EP. Back in a while actually, but for the rest of the teams are most gonna be either the coming back like Torrent trying to go for the 2 week in a row, and also a lot of subs like Sub and Turf and Dow Productions, but mostly let's talk about Sub and Turf. Cammy,
Yeah,
CCI.
okay. So yeah, coming from CCI, not a player who's usually on the Surf and Turf roster. So I'm interesting to see. I know that like Surf and Turf will often play like opens together with some other people as well. So there'd perhaps be that level of practice there and there as well. But Chrissy, Mangus, and Steven, I know that Mangus came into Surf and Turf sometime earlier this year. Like I believe it may have been around June. I think June or July, maybe a little bit earlier than that. On Surf and Turf, and they have been climbing the ranks in tournaments, grinding out tournaments with their new roster since then. Have been doing extremely well, getting into Great White a number of times, I believe. And it's good to see Seven Turf come back to Great White again, especially against Elongate. I know the Seven Turf have been in Div 4. I don't know if they made playoffs.
They did not, unfortunately.
They did. They did not make playoffs.
Wait, I think they did. I think they did, but you can talk about Elongate for a little bit.
Elongate. So Elongate, another very interesting team with an interesting recent history as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so for the confirmation, Surf and Turf did not make in the bracket of Div 4 for playoffs, unfortunately. But for Elongate, they are a Div 2 team. They were cited in full duty. They did not make playoffs as well, but they are a really OG players for Splatoon 2. You can see literally on the PFP that Genie is the one talking on, I think, Michael Jordan. Genie and Banelands is the two notable names, and Chinex as well. Like basically everyone on Elongate. If you were here during Splatoon 2, you mostly knew the team somehow. Mostly Genie if you know from commentary. But Banelands and Genie, if I remember correctly, they were playing together in Ink Alpha. When that was, I think, a long time ago. So like seeing that synergy from back then to now is really great. But for Sub and Turf, let's elongate. We're going to go game 1 and make it on Humpback. Lily, you like this map a lot, don't you?
I do. I think this map mode is great fun, and honestly, I love this. Like as a commentator, I love this map because this map mode in particular, because of the kind of plays you see. I remember, I think the first time I saw this in a tournament, I think it was like a what was it? I can't remember which team it was, but I think it was like a jackpot pickup where they brought out the ink vac, and that was like a wild choice back then. And using the ink vac just to control elbow and move that Rainmaker forward through that straight line around down that like straight through the window and everything. Using those, I don't know exactly which class people prefer there, but like being able to just like push the Rainmaker through there. Super successfully using the ink vac has been very interesting to see, and that's where we've been seeing, I think, a lot of the ink vac players being especially successful on coming out here. Does look like actually we're going to be seeing these weapon comps. I wonder if we will be seeing the ink vac. We are actually seeing a gold dynamo roller and a double shot coming out from some type, of course, with the end try, as well as double shot and ballpoint. Yeah, we see Genie on the ink vac ballpoint. It's going to be fantastic to see. I wonder if they are going to be using that. They definitely have to get that first checkpoint, I believe, to really make a very strong use of that. But we're already seeing the ink vac come out just to try and help them out win these fights in mid, of course. That is going to be that mid hopefully being taken back in control of them. But these super jumps coming out are going to be definitely pushing them back even further. It does look like Genie is still trying to look out, trying to get something happening. 2 plays have gone down on some stuff. Elongate might be able to get this mid control back in their favor and that first checkpoint to boot.
Yeah, on the first half, like saying about Genie, but with Genie with the ink back, playing the ball point bounding. Again, he is an OOG playing
Hmm.
the spots in general. So it's really great to see him playing this again rather than any other weapon, maybe other than a Kraken could have been another play. But it's really good for the back because we can see right now the strategy with with the vacuum and the Rainmaker. You can basically beat the cone invincibility, as you said before. That's going to be a wipe up for Summon Turf. But
Ooh.
honestly, gotta say it, but before, Bolonki having the cone of invincibility, having the Mimic go up all the way, you can see they made it to 19 because they killed the checkpoint and they comboed with Genie on the back to go all the way up there. They had Cooler in place, so respawn is going to be pretty quickly. Serpent Turf is going to be the first one to get the checkpoint, but they don't have any time in the back. They do have the super jumps though, so they have big tough advantage if they do get that. But no, for right now, they just have aggressive advantage right here, actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Subtough are going to be on the back foot still. They did manage to get that checkpoint, but with the help of the tactical, of course, elongate is going to be coming, getting a great pick on Steven there. Oh my goodness, with the Zuka, of course. So this is going to be, I think, elongate once again showing their dominance, just waiting for that Rainmaker to reset, and also with that pick on Chrissy as well. It does look like they are getting ready and getting into position. They want to win a fight here before they start pushing. You know, I wonder. I kind of hope we were the ones who coined the phrase the cone of invincibility for Inkback. Oh
Oh.
my goodness, 3 blades have just gone down on Elongate right there. Ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah, that was a 2 kill on the Zuka. That was a kill off on the
Mhm.
Zuka as well. So that'd be a 2-to-1 trade off on the Zuka play for both subs and elongate. But for this side right now, again for the side of Kami, we can see them play with Dynamite Water, getting a kill somehow after like I guess. But them having the Rainmaker once again, getting the kill off the sneak, getting the zap kill off is going to be no good for them. There's going to be one Zuka left off for them as well for some turn. They're going to be playing on the right side. The Conan invincibility once again playing off with the Zuka coming out of nowhere, basically multi-ankle death on the side of Subunter, getting stuck in the corner.
Oh,
Mike is gonna trade off good genius, so no more cone, no more spotting. They don't need to worry about waiting
yeah.
for a monkey right there playing the zap. They're going to be waiting for the Rainmaker respawn with 3 down on the side of Subunter as well. We might be even seeing a sneak is coming up from someone trying to get the advantage if they want to as well.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, this Rainmaker is going to reset here. Cammy almost was thinking about getting a sneak happening here, but I think Cammy's going to be making sure that they make use of the position they got into here, at least to be able to have that that extra like angle on them. It does look like, I think with the help of the super chumps once again, they can get this area painted, but I don't know if that's necessarily the area that they really want to be focusing on in terms of being able to have that map painted, because we can already see Elongate have got full control over their elbow, which is kind of the primary spot you're going to be thinking about taking the Rainmaker when you're in this position anyway, unless they can really, unless they, I mean, if they really want to, like, backtrack and take it across the rails over to the far left side as well, but, you know, that's always, like, a very risky move, and they're losing players off the back of that as well, so I'm not sure if they're necessarily going to be in a very good spot to be thinking about where to move it right at this moment.
What happened just now when you were talking actually was some stuff getting 3 down but with a cooler at the same time, so they instantly respawn, but basically that's a whole reset for elongate to take over all in the middle. And in that case, we see that monkey again with 1 minute left. They're just going to be playing it a little bit slow, playing it a little bit back, waiting for the Rainmaker to actually go up with them as the whole team comes up with the Zap player as well. We see Genie waiting for the cone of visibility to play it off, but they get sniped off by the Zuka. Genie's the cone of visibility, not able to work it out that much that they want to do, and that's going to be a jump up from them. Again, for this chance for Subterf, they would want to go the sneaky path, but it's going to be really risk high play, high reward in that scenario, but mostly they're going to go right because it's the safest play at all.
Yeah, oh my goodness, there's only a few seconds left in the match, and even though Elongate is 4 players up at the moment, and so is Subunter,
Oh.
Subunter is going to be losing out. Steven was carrying the Rainmaker there, and it does look like even though they have all this space taken up and the Zuka coming out, that is going to be their specials lost, as Genie is going to be vacuuming that bubble at the end, just stopping anyone from Surf and Turf or Sub and Turf really to be able to actually contest that pop, giving Elongate a very safe first win of this set.
Back and Zuko goes hard. That's all we can say
Absolutely.
right now
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Mhm.
but honestly as well, we could save on the side of Sub and Turf. Again, we saw in the roster set, they have the Dynamo Bowler. That's the only difference from the whole set because they have all aggressive weapons in the end as well. So really for the Dynamo Boy, we saw Cammy trying to go for sneaks, but really they weren't having any backup for that. So in that scenario, if they were able to have backup to the sneaks or really take advantage of those sneaks, like sneak on the right side, sneak on the left, trying to go for that jump, if it's for the high risk, high reward scenario, they would have got a lot more points. But mostly in Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, Maymaker Advantage, like you would want to go for the safe path, but you might
Mhm.
get, but you can throw them off one time in a row if you think about it. Like if you think of it, think for a second that you have power. Oh, we should maybe go left. We should maybe go like out of the ordinary while everyone's on the other side. Get one distraction all in, and then have everyone else going on the left. But well, have the waymaker for someone else going on the left. So they have the more diverse split of power type of deal.
Yeah, I like that way of thinking about it, actually, that diverse bit of power. Another thing about like having the, I mean, we're also talking about it, not necessarily to do with like different routes you're taking the Rainmaker necessarily, but different ways, like different areas of the map you can start positioning your team to get a lot of value. I mean, we saw in the sub power up match where they had like a flank just to be able to split attention, or had like Gaysigal kind of just there to kind of split attention on the of the defending team to kind of like make sure that like when you were actually able to go and really aggro, the attention of the defending team was split enough that they could like easily win those fights as well. So that's something else to think about regarding like multiple routes you can take. Think about like Clan Blitz, of course, and Scorch Gorge, is that you do have a bit of a choke point on both of those routes. I guess you got the grates on one end, and you got the top of the ramp on the other end as well, under the basket. So it can be a little bit dicey, whichever like if you do decide that you really want to like split your team up instead of go full force with all your specials to take one. We are actually seeing Genie come out again on the ink back just to provide that support for the rest of Elongate to go in with this power clam. It does look like Genie's very ready to score, but he's going to be taken up with a Zuka. Unfortunately, that's going to be perhaps stopping that push dead in its tracks as Southern Turf is looking to regain a little bit of area, at least in front of the clan basket.
It's always funny getting killed off by Zuka while you have a back and play. That's mostly what
Mhm.
happened. But really, in the matter of right now, again, for elongate, they were trying to go for the first aggro push, going straight up, going into action, instead of doing the diverse power as they did before. Cammy talked about the one doing the stage, they would have the possibility, but they mostly would be going for the ramp, while for the other shot players, they would be going on for the great. That is how the diverse power or divisive sneaks is going to happen. We're going to see maybe someone like Bayless or David going from one or two shot players going to go for the great instead. We see a lot from Longate, from Genie actually, of course, too, going for the great, to diverse power. We see actually Shinex actually going for the first ball. That is the other shot player.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is going to be actually giving up a lot of space to 7 to have here as those players all went down, even though they did manage to get that power climb in. You know, this is still... okay, it looks like Crizzy was at least getting some clams past to mid so they can start getting some push with the space that they were able to take up there. But, you know, I think that Elongate is already ready to go as the game kind of moves into neutral here.
Oh wait, no, I get it. Chrissy was actually waiting for the ball to respawn because they already had 3 clams. They wanted to pass it up to the rest of the teammates, so that's why Chrissy threw the clams away. So they have, see the shot player has 3 clams, so 4 clams right now. But for the rest of the elongate, again, they're just going to keep on going at it. They have people alive, they have a lot of pain advantages. Banelin's going solo, getting killed off in 2v1, Genie behind him with no back. Until now, they have back. The ball's getting killed off because of that. So the cone of visibility is going to be killed off as once again before. But there is still a lot of pain on the side of Sub that can be reliable. They just need to get the kills off the shots.
Yeah, they absolutely need to, because Elongate, the thing is, they've just been staying alive even when they did do that score, and that score was only like just 1 power clam, and they did go 3 players down. When they got into those defensive positions, they were able to hold back Subunter from actually being able to really get any advantage there. And even though, like you were mentioning, the paint, they've got to be able to win these fights if they want to start progressing against a team like Elongate here. And it does look like with the help of that wave breaker, they may be able to start getting some picks off. Thing is though, Genie has an ink vac here, and they really want to focus on getting Genie out of the game, because not only do they have that ink vac, but that is going to be the power clam carrier, who's going to be holding it pretty safely here. But there's that ink vac coming out again, which is going to make Genie just that much more difficult to fight.
Yeah, and also talking about the Splatoon 2 from the side of Quincy versus Genie. Genie has the ink back, as we said before a lot of time, but for Quincy they have the weight picker. It's mostly playing for space instead of going for crack and cheese, with the other type of spotting has. So in
Mhm.
that scenario, it might have been helpful for them to push up, but for Quincy, they're playing with the rest of sub to have Cammy actually have power for that, so they can sneak ahead instead. But for in this scenario, when I'm getting 3 down so many times, the Trust not able to do anything with the help of Steven because of that. Genie doing the back with the cone invincibility once again. There's going to be another clan blast going in,
Mhm.
going down to 47 with also delay because the clan respawn is going to be happening right about now, as we see in
Yep.
Genie on top left corner.
Yeah, okay, so the clan respawn. I'm glad you're keeping track of the clan respawns. Actually, it's always good to know. You'd be like a fantastic like get this guy on your team for shot calling and stuff, especially in clan. But it does look like, however, they managed to get down to a score of 14 to 3. Blades have gone down here, so Subnautica are able to actually push back in and gain a lot of ground once again. They yet to score, and they only have 45 seconds to do so. And the thing is that previous score that we saw from Elongate, they weren't really around the basket to really contest that. They need to be all together to win these fights in order to start pushing this, and they are going to be getting this tactical around just to try and make sure that they can move up ahead, at least with something. Mangus is here with the ball. They just need to make sure that it's safe to move up because they're getting pretty consistently bombed out by Elongate, who's just playing defense at the moment. That is all they need to do. They just need to defend and they win this. Oh my goodness, Jarine, we might be seeing them just being pushed back even further. I think Elongate has this.
Really, you are right about this. We're going to see basically Lonky get the 2-0 advantage and win the first round with 3 of Substep going down. Monkey just getting the call up against Chrissy just to lead them back. Genie just winning it, go ahead for the count of death. They had that ready to stop the push as well earlier. But yeah, that's it. Elongate going in 2-0, winning the first round.
Fantastic plays from Elongate, and I've got to say, fantastic ink facts from Genie in particular. Not only the first match, but also that one as well. It's great to see Inkfact come out. I know that people have spoken when Inkfact kind of first came out. Like the only use people mentioned it was for like clam blitz cheese, but now I think it's like it's a valid special, and we're seeing a lot of fantastic players use it at a very high level as well. So this is really good to see, like the ink fact just come out to show exactly what it can do. I know I love to call it, like, I love to say that it has that cone of invincibility where you can just make sure that like whatever area is directly in front of you, you can hold that as your own, and you can keep that for your team just to help yourself win the fights that are in front of you, of course. And that's going to be pushing any players out from either that position or forcing them around some other space, which is of course going to be putting them out of position and can help your team pick them off as well. Anyway, a really good showing of Inkfact in both those matches on the defensive side and the offensive side.
Yes, definitely that's going to be a good place for Elongate to show aggressive defensive with the help of the back from Genie and all that. But saying about the rest of the team as well, they were doing really well, like coordinating all together. They did a really good in pushing, they did really good teaming up, like going in all as a group. Like that is the certain scenario that Elongate had like a certain situation. If they were all in a group, they would have got KO'd. But since the rest of the team, Shinx, it was Shinx, it was Banelands, and one of them Elongate, I forgot. Sorry about them. They were all just coordinating together. If one was down, they were able to jump to Genie, and just go into the fight once again. So they had just that synergy, that coordination of that. But we cannot count out Sub and Turf with the sub of Cammy, who did really well with the Dynamo Roller. But the only weird thing is for the game 2 was the Dynamo Roller and a heavy splatling. That was an interesting kind of play there. But
Yeah, because those are two slightly slower weapons, of course. I mean, the Dynamo Roll is famously like slow in terms of not necessarily slow, but has a very specific rhythm. I like to think of it more of like a very specific rhythm that you have to get into, because of course you got to make sure your timing your swings in a way that like makes sure that you're safe, make sure that you can like snipe, almost like snipe or flick, or just take up space over the other players that you're trying to get with your ink output, which is pretty good, and also with your range, of course, which is pretty good as well. So you can kind of like try and snipe those players with those flicks as well. But of course, the other thing with Gold Dynamo is that you have those super chumps with the buffs that Oh my goodness, actually, we're seeing
Oh.
live updates here. Live updates, live Lily Jorian reaction in Great White. We actually see Torrent and EP Dreepy looks like going to be playing in round 2 as well. Flowerpot is going to be moving on to round 2 as well. I know I kind of just jumped ahead here, didn't finish my sentence, but these are some interesting matches that we're seeing, which will be coming up next in Great White bracket. I'm curious to see where Flowerpot goes in the rest of this bracket, because they've been grinding tournaments recently, and I know that a little while back they came third in Squid Junction. They've been doing pretty well in Great White in the last SOS as well. Once again, they're just like keeping their consistency up, and I think that's great to see from a team.
Yeah, as we see for Seven Heaven versus Sunset, who they need to wait on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset winning on stream 2-1 for the Seven Heaven, who went on the set as well. But Seven Heaven did been around on and off. I think they did make playoffs for the Luna set, but mostly going 2-1 on weeklies. Like it's a weird curse for them. As I
Mm-hmm.
kind of get to figure it out or notice for Seven Heaven, like they can make it up to like round 3 or round 2 with White, but round 1 as well. Like they are in the Grade 1 era. It's just a weird curse that they have that they get eliminated in the game 3 scenario. Like it might just be that in that certain time that they have to get it finished off, but it's the counter that they can't really know of. Like they play really fast at the start and play really slow at the end. And that's really the issue that they have with them. But hopefully they win in the 2-1 setting the Battle Fireball round 2. That's a really good match.
Yeah.
But Torrent versus
Mm-hmm.
EP3P. That's a match to see for sure. Because that
Mm-hmm.
like say like maybe like 3 months ago, that's a lowing finals, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. I know that Torrent, I believe they won last swim or sink as well. Even though we can see the Velocity is seed 1, and they look like they may be set to win this. Light Bloom actually
Oh,
did take a game off them in that first round as well. We're actually seeing Sunset and Flowerpot look like they're slated for round 2. They're slotted in for round 2 to play against one another. Interesting to see actually Sunset take that set off Seventh Heaven.
upsets for sure is happening right now in match number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not in match 10 and 11 of the bracket. It's going to be really good match to see, as that's going to be coming up soon. But I think that's going to be us for it. We have to go. So Lily, what's going to be your ads?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can also find me on Twitch at Lily Gravy Bread. That's Lili Gravy Bread. You can see it at the bottom of the screen there. And Jarian, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You could find me on Jawaian51 on Twitter, Jawaian2 on Twitch, or mostly funny enough, you can see me on Dapper Productions, streaming for them on Friday and Saturday for Squid Junction and for Torrent Cup if you want to sign up for those tournaments for the EU scene. Maybe try out new tournaments in the daytime too if you're free. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Maybe see you as a combo in maybe another 4 weeks, maybe soon, maybe in a low wink ladder this weekend.
True. Anyway, this is gonna be it from us. There's still many fantastic matches up ahead this swimmer sink, but we'll be seeing you around. But you don't go anywhere. We'll be there to watch with you, I'm sure.
Yep, just remember to vote for the Splatfest 2 this weekend. Fist bump, handshake, and hug.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Swimmer Sync. We are in our quarterfinals of the Top Cut Great White Bracket. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and I am joined by the lovely Saf. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Oh, Maddie, Madaladdles. I am just ecstatic to be back on SOS. 129, so many, Maddie. And not only that, but our friend Pipe Dream is the streamer today. And you guys, this is the Riptide squad. We all room together at Riptide, so it's it's nice to have the gang back together. It's nice to have the gang back together. The gang's all here. Little SpongeBob fingers whirling around with the smiley faces. Gang's all here.
Heck yeah, glad to have the band back together. We're going to be making so much music for y'all. And we're going to be watching Sunset versus Flower Pot for our next matchup in this quarterfinals. We did see Sunset getting a nice 3-0 in pools earlier today, but I don't think I've seen Flower Pot in action yet.
Flower Pot has been making quite a scene, if you will, in this scene. They have been doing insanely well. The last tournament I saw them play in was the last major that just happened, and the name escapes me, but it was really fun. 20XX. Flower Pot had such a fun time in 20XX, and they made it really far, and they're coming back to hang out with us again over on IPL here at SOS. So, definitely a force to be reckoned with. But over on the other side, I mean, Sunset, Maddie, like you just said, going 3-0 in like most of their group stage. Especially in their group, which is fantastic. So that, I mean, like what more can you ask for? You know what I mean? This is like a really good matchup that we get to have going into our next stage, which Tower Control Manta Maria, which I think that that is correct. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So Tower Control Manta Maria going into this first one with both of these teams here. Major talking points about this one: the bunker, Maddie. The bunker, the bunker. It's always the major point that you need to control if you want your team to be successful in moving the tower. Because remember, folks, the tower moves at 1 speed. It moves at 1 speed only, and so you kind of have to know how to utilize your players, and that key position to take when you're going against and toe-to-toe with the opposing team is the bunker. And I'm now receiving information that was the wrong flower pot that I'm referencing. So sorry, but regardless, I mean, both flowering teams are blooming, if you know what I'm saying, if you catch my drift.
Oh, absolutely, and I imagine that we'll still be seeing a fantastic show, considering they made it to quarterfinals of Great White. Like, that is no mean feat by any means, so whether they're in 20XX or not, they're still a force to be reckoned with. And going into Tower on Manta Maria, you are correct about that bunker. It is the high ground, and for most of the tower path there. But the other thing to watch out for, and whoever's going to be set up on bunker is going to be watching this area, that elbow on that second checkpoint as well, because there's a little bit of a painted area, a block. Defenders will be going there just to like rain down on that tower as it goes by, and so the attacking team has to be able to watch that as well, in addition to the bunker. Just so many points to keep track of on this tower path.
And I mean, my favorite thing about this one, Maddie, is it's kind of my favorite in most of these tower games. It's that second checkpoint. Second checkpoint is always so crucial, pretty much universally across the maps in tower control. And Manta Maria is no different, especially with having to take so many fights in the street. And it can really come down to close quarters, and just kind of knowing your mechanics. But looking up at the top here, look at that. Okay, so Pencil and Squeezer kind of coming out as a pair for Flower Pot. But over on the other side, you can see the ballpoint with the Inkjet, and you've got that zap and that shot combo. So tons of ink to be had for Sunset. So Flower Pot's kind of got the same thing going, Maddie, because I mean, let's be honest, Pencil, the inking power of Pencil is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely, and it's kind of become like the pseudo splatling of the backlines. Like, not only does it have the same or similar range to the ballpoint, but it has some of the same run speed kind of characteristics that is famous for the splatlings. And on Manta Maria, with that grading, any sort of like run speed buffed weapon just has a field day, especially ones with range. So that ballpoint is going to be having a tough opponent to have to face off with, and that pencil, having the 2-shot and the juice on hand is a force to be reckoned with for sure. But already we're seeing, like, once again, they're on the second checkpoint and just nuking that corner, making sure no defenders can get to it, and they're going to be blowing right through it with ease.
Yeah, Kreia is in a really good position right here, especially having the Trizuka online with the squeezer. That tap shotting is going to be really crucial for them, for anybody that is going to try to oppose the tower. And I mean, again, really good knowing when to back up, especially with that Inkjet being online and coming out to play in the street area. But Kreia getting a really awesome pick with their Trizuka. Didn't quite see where the pick happened on the map, probably in the pit area there, but Sunset having such a great response here. 2 picks going down right in front of the street. You can see Kogi already responding and getting up on that master area. Huge if you are a Splatling player, and look at that, getting a pick onto Mocha as well. So Sunset making a response of their own. The cooler is out. The Inkjet is ready, Maddie.
Yes, and we do see them positioning themselves on that bunker that we were talking before, but the nice thing about the Inkjet, there's a lot of like walls and unreachable areas for the attacking team unless the tower is right there. So having the Inkjet just allows them to pressure the defending team back without having to beat it themselves. But we're seeing that they're having a bit of a scuffle with the wiper there, which distracted them from the elbow, but it seems like they're still able to get through the second checkpoint without a problem, and not quite able to get the lead though, just a point off, Staff.
Yeah, and that 1 point is super crucial, but you can see Mocha and Didi already ready in the street, ready to respond and move the tower backwards. So Sunset is going to be forced to be pushed backwards. Cannot have any more ground to take there as they are waiting for other members to respawn back into the map. And I always think of this, Maddie, I mean, the difference it could make if the players could see the names. The players could see the names like we can here over at the commentator desk, I mean, would be huge and such an interesting change and dynamic to the game. But I mean, looking ahead, Flowerpot once again pushing this tower into the street area. You can see Sunset doing their best, trying to defend here, trying to go around that little elbow area there to try to jump into the front, maybe prevent the tower from moving. But Mocha is not giving them any space to work with here as they try to reach for the pick on Mish, but Mish does not go down until Mar is able to take them out with the pencil. 2 members going down on Flowerpot. That Trizuka is online and they're just kind of waiting to use it there until it makes sense. But the tower is going to find its way back to mid. Only a minute and a half left to go and a 1-point difference. Sunset has got to get something cooking here if they want to keep this momentum going.
Oh, absolutely. Like, we saw a bit of like a rough scuffle there with several members of both teams going down, but it really benefited the defending team because it distracted them from the tower long enough for it to reset before they could get any more points. So having that 1-point difference gives Sunset a chance here to be able to bring this back. They are down a couple of players, including that ballpoint right there, which is going to be their anchor weapon, allowing Flowerpot just to gain so much map control in this last minute. So they're just kind of like a bit staggered. They're going to have to regroup in order to gain ground, but Flowerpot, they're just not letting them getting that foothold.
Yeah, Flowerpot having so much inking power here, which is absolutely crucial if you're going to try to maintain your lead here, because they know, once again, the tower is only going to go at a set pace here. And so Sunset are the ones that have to make the move here to try to get this tower pushed forward. And they're having some trouble getting out of the street a little bit here. You can see Mish kind of trying to maybe clear some space using the AoE of that suction bomb to try to get into the midsection here, but Flowerpot just having such a strong foothold. It's making it difficult for Sunset to get out. I mean, look at that. Over on the left-hand side, you can see all members of Sunset for a moment there just trying to utilize that side to try to get out, but Flowerpot is there and here to stay. And look at Mocha getting 2 picks, make it 3, having good control of mid here. And Flowerpot once again is going to try to maintain this tower and get this push going with 7 seconds left to go.
Oh, that was an excellent play by Mocha right there, just really going up the middle there, cutting their defense in half, like basically beelining for that anchor, which just disintegrated their defense after they were taken down. So like they were able to get the ballpoint, come at them from behind, and just take them down one by one. So there was no one left to really stop that tower from moving forward. And then, you know, the rest is history. Flowerpot taking the first victory of this set.
Yeah, and you have to know, I think the person to be looking out for here is definitely Mocha. I mean, Mocha having that wiper on hand and having the stamp to be able to throw at such a long distance, that's so major. And that aggression that they were holding, I mean, and even with the jump in, I mean, we all know that in this game these days, stealth jump is almost a requirement, Maddie. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost a requirement no matter what position and or weapon that you prefer to play, whatever your play style is. But as you move further along in comp, it's like you have to have stealth jump because like your jump is just, it's going to be called out. You can guarantee that your jump is going to be called out. And so, I mean, with Mocha being there getting 2 picks, they were in the right place, right time with that last jump to be coming into the map there. And that crucial soft wipe just kind of broke the momentum that Sunset had going for themselves. So, moving on to the next round, though, we're looking at Crab Leg Capital, newer map to come out to us, and we did just have the most recent season now be announced to us, coming out on December 1st, which is so exciting. But before that happens, we still gotta play around with these other maps that we have going on for us. So Rainmaker, Maddie, something that I'm really not as familiar with, and you being my teammate, I'm not sure how you feel about it as well. But if you have any talking points here, I would really love to know what you think the strategy is for success.
I'm trying to think through the layout of this map because Clam Blitz comes up a lot for Crab Leg. It feels like Clam Blitz is the preferred mode for Crab Leg, but Rainmaker, I haven't seen too much Rainmaker, to be honest. If I remember correctly, you have the starter Rainmaker in the middle, but there's no grading over the top like you would in, say, like zones or something, if I remember correctly. So like the top mesh is not connected through the middle completely, but there's still quite a bit. Like, as always, there's a double route for the Rainmaker to take. One's going to be the far left, which will allow a jump from the pistol to the ledge, but then the other one is, I think, straight up the middle, or is it up the right side?
I believe it is up the right side. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like one of the most split Rainmaker paths we have in the game right now. Just like completely opposite sides of the map.
Looking at the comp, look at that. Okay, so it seems Flower Pot is going to try to stick with the same thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, am I right? But on the flip side, Sunset is going to do the exact same. They are both very confident in these comps. I mean, it is probably most likely what got them into Great White, right? So why would you want to change the formula that's working for you? The Pop going to be going to Flower Pot here. They have so much firepower on their side, especially because the only shooter weapon that you can see on Flower Pot is going to be that Squeezer. So definitely allowed Sunset to get the pop, and they were all right with that, and that is just fine. But you can see Kogi already getting that Inkjet online. They're going to take the high ground here, getting 1 pick off of Kreia and opting to go and fall back with the jump coming in. So much map control coming out from Sunset here.
Oh, absolutely, and a nice double by Chevy right there. Gonna fall victim to the bomb, unfortunately, but that's gonna open up just a free window to that checkpoint. Well, I was gonna say a free window, but they are gonna be taken down before they can actually tap it, and that's gonna be 2 members of Sunset going down before they can even get the checkpoint. They're gonna be trying to hold on ground for as long as possible. They do get a nice splatter here, but are gonna be overwhelmed as Flower Pot is going to be moving in, taking on ground and taking on space. And we saw also like just the way the ballpoint was set up there just allowed them for some nice coverage earlier on, but if they're allowed, the pencil on the Flower Pot side there can really just put a lot of pressure on that ballpoint, especially considering it can do the double tap compared to the 4.
Look at that, Shavir trying to climb up there with that Kraken to no avail though, so good assists coming out for the side of Flower Pot. They are going to be popping this first checkpoint and taking the lead at the same time, so that's got to be feeling really good. They have Sunset in a really good chokehold here with Mar being able to push up and hold the backline back. You can see Kogi being pushed back, but the Stamp is going to try to come out to lead the way for the Rainmaker, but unfortunately, Sunset being in a good position to try to follow up and fight back here. So 3 members down on the side of Flower Pot. Now Sunset is going to be the ones to pick up the Rainmaker. It looks like they are opting for the reset. They have good control of mid. A lot of blue paint down on the floor at this moment here. But Flower Pot already, Maddie, back into the map and raring to go as 2 members of Sunset now go down at the reset.
Yes, indeed. Like, that wall did not come up in time, so they were going to be taken down by, once again, another bomb. But Cody here trying to keep coverage here, and the Inkjet is going to get popped, looking for another pick. But the pencil, once again, the pencil can just contest the Jets without fear. But unfortunately, their mates are going to be going down, allowing Sunset to be able to just push up in this 4v2, just trying to find an opening there. But the one defending shot gonna take 3 members and a full wipeout on Sunset, not allowing them to get even close to the checkpoint.
I want to point out there, The shot on Sunset got a nice double with their Zuka. That was absolutely huge for Sunset to try to push up onto that platform with the Rainmaker. Definitely super dicey to try to climb up a wall when there's some firefighting going on right above you here, but they tried to take the risk. But to their avail, they were able to get the wipeout, and they are trying once again to push this Rainmaker forward, getting a few more points on this board. The real fight is going to be trying to get Kreia across this great area here, especially with Mish being able to push up and take them down. 2 members of Flowerpot going down here, but with the Stamp going to be able to follow up. There's 2 specials online for Sunset at this moment here, so definitely want to be careful for the remaining members of Flowerpot that are alive, trying to hold it down in the spawn area. They're just so quick to get the pop bounty. I mean, look at that already. The Rainmaker has once again been popped. You can see DD picking it up here, trying to look for some space to climb back up on the grates, and once again, they are going to live to fight another day, trying to go up on those grates. But they tried and then opted to go down instead below and taking it down to the single-digit mark here. Flowerpot doing an excellent job of just maintaining their pressure.
Oh, absolutely. They held on to that gradient and just kept Sunset at bay for so long, bringing it down to our last minute and getting it up to 9, which is going to be a huge thing to have to come back through. I just want to call it like the usage of the cooler is so effective on this map because of that grading. We saw just the little dance that the Rainmaker carrier was doing to dodge fire, and not only that, but get across the gradient and then drop in order to avoid getting shot at. Now we are kind of going to be resetting here. Just Sunset, last chance to do something. 30 seconds remaining, and they have a checkpoint and 65 points to get through to even get close to that lead, but they are 2 members down. Flowerpot just cleaning them up right now. A nice shot from the pencil. It does not look good for Sunset right now.
Yeah, Flowerpot just having so much momentum here. You can see that jump in coming in right behind the wall. Good defense for your teammates there. Definitely good call-outs that are being made by Flowerpot, just keeping all eyes forward in the spawning area of Sunset. Close call for Kreia there from that Tri-Zuka, which is definitely a little too close for comfort if you ask me. You got to be really careful when that Tri-Zuka comes out. But again, Flowerpot just having unrelenting pressure, up on that right grate area. I mean, that is where the play of the game was for me, Maddie, was that Tri-Zuka shot that took out 2 members immediately, to where Flowerpot was able to climb up the right-hand side and get forward on those grates. But a huge shout out to DD as well, because DD was about to opt to take that grate area. They saw 2 different players coming. They were like, you know what? I got to squid down through and just try to see what I can get for this ramp. And they got down to the 9 mark. And so a tough lead to beat for sure. But Flowerpot just kept breaking the armor of Sunset's defense there.
And I feel like talking about DD there, like one of the, I guess, not less talked about perks of the cooler there, the quick super jump you can get from that. Like we saw, they fell down through the graves all the way to the bottom, and instead of trying to swim back up, they just super jumped to a teammate and were there instantly to pick up the Rainmaker when they needed to. So good, just thinking on their part, good call out, knowing that they'd be able to get to there on time. And they are going to be taking, I guess, 2-0 in this. Not going to Clan Blast Museum, unfortunately, but they are going to be moving on this set, going up against Velocity next as we look at the bracket.
Oh, Maddie, this is such a spicy bracket. It's tasty. Looking down the side, though, Frostbite taking a 2-0 over Half-Life, going against Gaming in the next one. Honda Squidic, to the surprise of me personally, going down to Gaming here. Gaming, I'm presuming, is a pickup of some kind, but not to say that Honda Squidic hasn't been doing work, Maddie. Honda Squidic has been doing some work, okay? Like, they have been so present in this scene and doing so much, and I believe they are going to be playing in High Ink. Don't quote me on that. Pretty sure that they are on the roster to be playing High Ink on Sunday, which is a huge honor and a very cool thing. But oh my gosh, I didn't realize this either, but since Sunset moved on to play Flowerpot, Sunset taking a 2-1 over 7th Heaven. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. 7th Heaven also doing work and also having a really good time in the Ludi season currently. But moving on down the line here, Velocity got a 2-0 over Elongate, which we got to see Elongate take a 2-0 over Sub and Turf earlier on in the stream, which was just fantastic gameplay all around. But Velocity versus Flowerpot going on into round 3, and we are just waiting on a few more matches between Torrent and EP Droopy and Gaming and Frostbite. But Maddie, Torrent, I believe, was the last winners of SOS. They won SOS 128. They are here to play once again, going against EP Dreepy. And so, one thing that is always noted to me is that, you know, the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story, right? There's so much else, so much more narrative that's happening across these games. And when you see something like this that's like a 1-to-1, you have to wonder, like, what's going on there. So I'm excited to see who is actually going to come out on top, making it forward to round 3.
Ooh, yes, as you said, it's going to be a spicy lineup to be sure, and no matter who comes out on top, and we see that they are pretty evenly matched on the bottom side, and then, like, yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup to be sure. I'm not sure who's going to be on next on our view, but we shall let you know soon, and we'll be going to a short break in the meantime.
Hey yo, sports fans! Welcome back to Swim or Sink 129. I am Saf. I'm here with Maddie Maddles, Maddle Addle Ding Dong, the iMad Gamer, the second. And now look at this. Semifinals, Maddie. We're talking about Torrent and gaming here. And if you look at gaming, it's a little pickup. It's a little octopi pickup with friends, which is really fun. And Torrent being our SOS 128 champions from the last go round that we had last week. Definitely a good matchup going on here. Splat Zones on Makomart. We're going shopping. Grab your membership cards, folks. There's deals to be had. Make sure you enter your alternate ID at the checkout to get your whatever percentage off of your items, okay? This is going to be a good match, and especially because when you have like a past winner trying to make their way through and bustling their way through Great White Bracket to try to become number one once again, it's going to be a fun one. But I think with gaming being their competitor here, some difficulty, Maddie.
Oh yes, quite difficult indeed. There's going to be spillage and cleanup on aisles 4, 3, and 5 of the Makomart, just with how I see this matchup is going to get. Like, Zones Makomart, once again, one of the keystone map modes of Splatoon 2 going into Splatoon 3. So, like, this is going to be, like, bringing out all the stops that players are going to be used to. Zones in particular on Makomart, like, you have not only the cross-shaped zone making it a little bit more difficult to cap in some of these team fights, but then there's like, it's got a nice mashup of like frontline hiding spots, but then also the view and high ground of a backline. So like, you have so many combos, so many different like weapon combos that you can go for, but like Zones just makes it extra spicy, I think.
Yeah, and one thing to note too, so many different ways to enter back into this map from a lockout as well. Mm-hmm. So definitely gotta be a little careful with how you want to do it, but depending on what your comp you're running, it is definitely a very doable thing. Now, looking at Torrent, so much ink. Once again, you have that zap shot combo, so a lot of ink output going on. The Nautilus may be acting as a backline. Who knows? Maybe acting as a frontline, maybe acting more aggressive. You don't know. We don't know. Torrent knows, but we'll find out later on. But it looks on the other side of gaming, they have the ZNF Charger coming out. So tri-strikes and wall to be had. Double wall, actually, because you have that 52 gal as well. Early cap of the zone, though, coming out from gaming here. So you can see as Torrent is trying to push their way forward a little bit, dancing around this pillow. You can see CJ kind of dancing around this pillow, opting to take the left-hand stack. Now the zone has been flipped. Torrent being in control, trying to hold gaming out of the zone, but making it difficult with the tri-strikes coming out because so much ground to be covered with tri-strikes, but not for long, and no penalty being going on to Torrent's side. So once again, the clock is going to be ticking down. We're still in the first minute, Maddie, and so much has already happened.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this is going to be another, like, Zones in particular, you're going to have a lot of, like, back and forth, especially when you have these high bracket teams going up against each other. But Makomart especially, as you mentioned, just the fact that there are so many different entry points, it is not easy to lock the enemy team out, especially if they know what they're doing. Craft tanks, such as we're seeing here, is one of the key things to, like, just keep them out for an extended period of time. But when it gets knocked off like that with the aggression and, like, the suction bombs that are coming out from Torrent as well, that's what I noticed. Like, they're running a double suction bomb versus gaming double wall, so like an offense versus defense, and right now it is a kind of a wipeout, and they're going to be using that offense just to get in the zone and cap it.
Yeah, and a good usage of it at that. You can see Athen taking the right-hand stack, so gaming going to be having some trouble just opting to put their cooler next to gaming's cooler. So drinks on CJ for this one, folks, if you want to go ahead and have some juice online. No penalty to be had, though, for Torrent, so that clock is just going to be ticking on away as gaming has 33 points in their back pocket here. The tri-strikes coming out, trying to make an entry here. The loss of control going on for Torrent, and you can see all 4 members of gaming being really far pushed up here. They're just trying to contest the zone, take it in, but they will be able to get that cap as 2 members of Torrent do go down. You can see Josh trying to use that Trizuka to the best of their ability, but going down to Candy, as Candy is going to be using the 52 out here to push up and taking Spec down in the process. The flank, they don't know, Maddie. Okay, the flank has now been called out. I was worried there. They didn't know for a second. Candy was going to try to jump out, but unfortunately the call out has been made, and so Torrent is going to be breaking back into this map, flipping that zone back into their favor, going to try to get that penalty going.
Well, 52 had like a solid 5 seconds just to paint that corner and get their special online, but it was unfortunate they were called out in the end. And it's going to be Torrent getting the nice 3 down. They don't have too much to go between their penalty and getting the lead back, so if they're able to hold off gaming for a little bit longer, they can certainly do that. The key thing here is just to stay alive for as long as possible. We saw previously, like even when the strikes come out, they have enough firepower with their main weapons to contest it. And we see again, strikes come out, but they still in control of zone. They're not quite able to get the lead back. Another 1 point meme here as they cap it again.
Yeah, that was huge. Huge crab tank coming out from 5th. I mean, my goodness, a good frontline pair here between Luna and 5th working together with the NZAP slash Splat duo, or Splash duo. That's going to be a hard one to combat, as they were able to get the 1 point meme going on Torrent. But the double pick coming out from Athen, I mean, Athen has just been doing so much cleanup work here, Maddie, especially earlier when they were able to take that right stack just with ease, and they're gonna about to do it again. And they said it, I'ma do it again, as this penalty for Torrent is ticking down to the 33. The lead has now been flipped with a minute left to go, but you can see 5th once again having this crab online, following up with the tri-strikes. Not in Torrent's possession for very long as they get it down to the 26 mark, but Gaming is going to be so quick to try to push forward here and to keep Torrent out. This is going to be really huge for them, as the penalty is now going to fall, with Juice coming online as the penalty falls. Absolutely huge for Gaming here, as they're going to try to get more and more points on the board as the lead has been flipped once again. Even though they have 2 members down, 17 points for the lead here. A decent penalty, but not as much more of a penalty for Torrent to have, as now once again Torrent is going to be the ones pushing forward to try to maintain their pressure here.
This is going to once again just come down to who is going to get the picks that they need first. We see one member of each team going down. The strikes are going to be coming out. They can contest this. They have 2 penalty points remaining. They have to paint the zone here to stay in the lead, but they're going to be taken down by so many things right now, and Athens going down in the hammer, so they are going to be outnumbered and outgunned. Just Josh right there trying to paint the zone for dear life, and it is in overtime. If they lose the zone, and they do, Gaming taking game 1.
They did exactly that. Gaming, gamers. Any gamers in the chat? Are y'all gaming? I'm gaming. I'm present and accounted for. Gaming taking game 1 here. Gonna do the same emote as well, so you can tell that there was some good conversation, the fist bumping had between Luna and Candy. Definitely well deserved. Gaming, Maddie, the response time from Gaming was absolutely huge. They were able to take full advantage of when they had a man advantage, full advantage of whatever sides that Torrent were trying to re-enter from. But not to say that Torrent didn't have some really key plays here, because Torrent was pushed up into the base of Gaming quite a few times. But that's the beauty of Mako Mart zones, right? And that's why you see it time and time again, because there is potential for re-entry once you have been locked out. And I think both teams have proved that. Gaming just did it a little bit better. So moving on to tower control ship shape, I mean, definitely a different scene to be had here. A lot of choke points to be had, and especially when you move on down to that 3rd checkpoint, you're kind of in a bottleneck between 2 uninkable surfaces to climb up on, unless you are the opposing team where the tower is going. Good. This is a great map for Trizuka, Maddie. That's one thing I'm going to point out. This is an excellent map for Trizuka. It is so open. You have a lot of different obstacles that kind of obstruct the view, but Trizuka is usually a very, very good pick here. And so is that going to be something that is going to be considered moving on forward into this next comp? So look at that. Okay, so Gaming is actually not going to opt for any sort of Trizuka, but you will be seeing one on Torrent. So the same exact comp on both sides. It's like I said earlier, if you're in the top 4, why would you change anything, Maddie? Look at all the stealth jump. Everybody is stealthily jumping into this map.
Oh yes, they do not want to be seen, especially on this map. As you mentioned, it is so freaking open. Like, it becomes a point-click adventure whether you're a Charger or a Zuka user. It is, you do not want to be spotted out. You do not want to be caught out, especially out in the open like this. But I think having the Actually, I'm gonna take back what I didn't say. No, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say. The tri-strikes from the charger there, the fire fin. Not only is Azuka going to be good for displacing certain key positions that they want to take, especially as you mentioned that second checkpoint, the corner and the bottleneck right there, but also the tri-strikes are going to be good at that as well. And I think like just looking at this, the first checkpoint going down, but 3 members of gaming are going to be going down as well.
Yeah, you got to be watching out for Athen here if you were on gaming, because they with ease went behind that wall that Candy was trying to put up there, and they did not let it deter them. All 4 members now of gaming trying to re-enter from the bottleneck, but also looking to opt kind of on the left-hand side from their perspective. And you can see Potato taking the high ground here with that ZNF charger, which is going to be really, really major. Nobody there to contest them though, Maddie, as 2 members of Torrent make it 3 go down on the side of Torrent there. Gaming just having such good positioning here, especially with allowing the charger to get set up. You can see Potato again getting set up, kind of getting close to this tower, getting a really close big off of CJ there. That was really good for them. Once again, a 1-point difference here between Gaming and Torrent. Gaming, though, having the upper hand, going to try to be pushing this tower forward here. They got to be cautious of what Potato can do here, because if you have a charger that can look long, like get picks long range, but they can also utilize that as like a squeezer, oh, it's a recipe for disaster, Maddie. You got to be careful.
Oh yes, indeed. Right now, they're going to be the ones having to watch out, as we saw the Azuka shots coming out, just kind of stalling out the tower, but they did get that checkpoint and 2 members of Torrent down. So with the crab take coming out, they're able to just take control of the tower and keep on chugging along. And once again, 3 members of Torrent are going down. The last one in that corner trying to defend, but with the strikes coming out, there is nothing they can do to stop this checkpoint from going down. And they are going to stop the checkpoint from going down. That is just the charger remaining. I cursed the commentary out of that.
Yeah, you did. You were asking for it, to be honest here, but Gaming now down to the 21 mark. Absolutely major. So much time left in the game, though, for Torrent to try to turn this around. You can see Spec trying to go on the left-hand side with Josh's support of that Trizuka, trying to make sure that that grate is clear. You don't want Potato getting set up any more than they already have, Maddie, especially because they're able to hit their shots and they hit them well. So Athen is going to try to opt in for this stamp. They take out Fifth. They're looking for the pick on Potato. They throw the stamp, but they don't quite find it. But they're still going to keep up this aggression here. They don't want Potato getting comfortable, and Athen is doing just that to try to push them back, and they're going to opt to jump out. But Athen is also going to be, like, jumping back. But, I mean, both of them just jumping back and just opting not to take that fight. I mean, that is like some top-level gameplay here, Maddie. You gotta know when to pick your fights. You gotta know when to stand down. And both of them, in that close combat fight, knew when to stand down and when they needed to back up.
Oh, yes, indeed. And they were able to make the quick escape, but unfortunately, they used all their specials and left out in the open like that with the charger still remaining. They kind of just fell apart there and were forced to retreat, getting taken down, almost the 3 members down. But they are still going at it. That juice coming in clutch. They are getting close to that second checkpoint once again. They have lost their NZAP. They are just putting so much pressure on the defense right now, but they're not able to get past the charger, and some bombs are getting thrown out here, and they're out of specials to displace them right here.
Yeah, the displacement is exactly what you need, and especially if you're gaming, that's what you want. A nice shot coming out from Josh, though, taking Potato out. That's huge. Really, the big threat here is going to be Fifth, but only 2 members alive left on Gaming, and Torrent also only having 1. Make it 2 members alive. Spec also going down. Josh being the last one up here. Gaming is going to take full advantage of this disadvantage that Torrent is having, and they're going to be pushing forward. Potato was so quick to get back onto that tower, and especially when you have juice on both sides. I mean, nobody is out for very long here, and so Gaming is going to take full advantage of this with the juice coming out, and the crab once again. Fifth being able to set up so well, getting some assistance there, so Athen could not be a bother to them. So Gaming is going to hold on to this tower with 10 seconds left to go. 2 members down on Torrent. They gotta fight this, Maddie, if they want to stay in it. But the fact that Gaming has such a strong presence here with another 3 down, Gaming is going to be moving on from semifinals, taking down the last winners of the last SOS. Down from semifinals, Gaming moving on to finals.
Really gotta stop putting points on the teams. I am just not doing it for them tonight, but GG's to Gaming for taking that nice 2-0 right there. And we saw there, you mentioned the crab tank. really bringing out the tank in that crab. Just they knew exactly where the defense was going to be going and just said, you want the tower? You're going to have to get through me. And they were just mowed down before they could even touch the tower. 30 seconds left, and Gaming held control so well for all 30 of those seconds, which is an impressive feat with how fast-paced Splatoon is.
Yeah, and Gaming's got to be feeling pretty good about that win there, especially because Torrent is just such a force to be reckoned with in general. But looking over at the bracket, Maddie, so Gaming taking Torrent down to a 2-0. They are going to be moving on to the next round, but there are some folks on the other side of the bracket that will be moving on with us to try to take on Gaming later on. So Velocity going to be taking a 2-0 over Flowerpot. We got to see Flowerpot just have such a momentous win over Sunset just a little bit ago, but Velocity are going to be the ones to be moving on. And I'm pretty sure, Maddie, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Velocity has won SOS here before. And like, I mean, it's kind of the seeding. If you're someone that likes to get more analytical and look at the seeding, you can see that the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed are the ones moving on into finals. But looking down below in the 3rd place match, you have Torrent versus Flowerpot. So that is also going to be a really good match. As we got to see before, Flowerpot had such a good win over Sunset, and then Torrent also just having a really grand old time in this tournament as well. So definitely a good match to be happening over there. But for the finals, folks, you have Gaming, which is a little bit of an octopi pickup with some friends, going against Velocity, who has been just such a force to be reckoned with. I mean, look at this bracket here, folks. 2-2-2 across the board in these rounds in Great White Bracket. So Velocity is going to be having a good time going against Gaming here on this final round.
Well, we see the numbers in the board right here, 2-0 and 2-0 and 2-0. It's like, they were not stomps by any means. Even that last game, down to 30 seconds, just a couple points difference, and just it was down to the wire the whole time. Like Gaming able to get that nice wipeout and just be able to push up and get control in the key points that they needed. Just allowed them to not even give Torrent a chance to come back after that failed push that they had here. So it's just like, again, it is top cut. It is intensely close. So I imagine even if we see a 3-0 from this set right here, is not going to be a stomp by any means. We're going to be seeing point difference in these matches.
Which we've already been seeing point difference already, right? So
exactly.
A lot of these games have already come down to like a 1-point difference for like a majority of it kind of thing. But for the side of Gaming, I mean, the front line that you have between Luna and 5th Gen with those crab tanks have just been on point. They knew exactly where they needed to be at all times when they had to position with that crab tank. And crab tank is just so good on ship shape in general. Like, there's so many good key positions to take with crab tank, and I mean 5th Gen just executed that perfectly. But you also got to talk about Potato as well. I mean, the sniper or charger player that can play a more long-range charger but then use it as almost like a squiffer is so good, and it's so hard to like try to combat something like that, especially if you were someone like Athen in the last game that was trying to displace the backline, and Potato made it really difficult for them to try to be successful at that. So just something to definitely note if you are Velocity coming into this next game here. And remember, this is a 5-game. This final is a 5-game, so it's a best of 3. So there's a lot of space here. There is a little more space here for error, if you will, in case something is going on. So you gotta just be cautious of that. But on the side of Velocity, I mean, oh my gosh, Maddie, Umbre, fantastic player. Sam, fantastic player. Just so much skill on the side of Velocity. Velocity kind of being like a household name, if you will, at this point in our scene. So you gotta be, I mean, you gotta be feeling pretty good if you're gaming, especially because it's like, okay, yeah, we're in the top 2 of SOS. Like, this is fun. This is a weekly, and we get to be here. But it's like, when you get to go against like a household name kind of thing, and you have to try to figure out, okay, like knowing what these people do, maybe you've seen them or watched them play before, how are we going to try to like combat what they're doing? And we're opening on such a good map mode here, Maddie. Clam Blitz on Crab Leg. Like, this is where things can go downhill so fast. Where all my run speed folks at? Because this one's for you.
Absolutely. And I was talking about Clam Blitz Crab Leg is the staple crab leg mode so far in Splatoon 3. It is the more popular mode choice here, but we've seen the Fire Fit in action, and they are certainly going to have some nice positions to keep up here. But as you said, the run speed aspect, once again, Splatlings, and then the pencil, just the bringing out that cooler kit, like that is going to be another popular choice, especially for the more charger-based backline users. So I am going to be curious to see what we're going to bring out. But in Potato bringing out the E-Leader, and then we're going to be seeing the Bronze with the ballpoint. A very excellent matchup right here.
And look at this, dude. We're in the top bit of SOS, and we are not using all stealth jump versus the last games. I mean, it was stealth jump for everybody. It was like Oprah. You get stealth jump. You get stealth jump. But in a more serious note, I really do like that Potato is picking the E-Leader here, because that's going to be a really good one, especially with all of this high ground being uninkable surface. So, I mean, it's open season for Potato if you are not careful on velocity.
Oh, absolutely. And we've also mentioned the 5th gen on that crab tank. Also going to be getting some nice positions there. They're just going to have to, excuse me, they're going to have to watch out for some of the suction bombs that are going to be coming out. Rocking that shot zap combo is going to bring out a lot of destructive power. But right now, Velocity is the one taking control of mid here, is bringing momentum. All they need is the clams, and they have a successful push in their hand.
Yeah, look at Sam being so far pushed up here with the end zap, getting a really nice pick there in the basket area of gaming. They're going to opt to push back, though. They didn't really have much support there, though, to try to push forward. You can see Bronze was trying to maybe make a move there, but ended up going down. Again, Potato taking out them so quickly there. Just so quick to follow up and get taken down. But you have Dat Kid with that Trizuka. They already got them once. They sure can get them again. But you also have the Neo machine coming out here too from Ori. So there's a double Trizuka here that you really got to be careful of if you are Potato. But with 5th gen also being on that Crab Tank, there's so much high ground for Crab Tank to really be successful here. So you got to watch out for that too. There's a lot of really key plays that could be made here if you just get the right positioning going for yourself. Looking ahead though, the Inkjet is going to be the one that has the power clam online for Velocity. The economy is booming here, Maddie, for either side. I mean, a little bit more so for Velocity now, as this game can happen so quickly, but for a moment there, I mean, everybody was just doing just fine.
I think that was an excellent pick from the 52 there on the ballpoint, getting that power clam, but Velocity is going to be able to open up the basket and put in a good number of the clams that they're carrying here. And that was the thing I was going to mention before, like, because of the terrain of this map, like, being able to not only have the man advantage and then be in position to take advantage of the basket and have clams on top of that. Shout out to this pick that we just got right here, but like, it is so difficult to like match up all three of those aspects, and the fact that Velocity was able to get it opening like that was huge, and now Gaming is going to have to repeat that for themselves.
Yeah, Gaming is going to have to do the exact same thing. Velocity had such a good opening there. But this could be Velocity's chance to try to actually extend that lead. You can see clams being thrown in towards that basket area as they do have it down to the 68. Bronze is going to try to follow up with the Inkjet, but with 5th gen there on that crab tank, like I was saying, the high ground being taken here. The clam carrier, Sam, is already immediately taken out with Bronze going down in the process. Dat Kid's going to try to back up. They are going to opt for the jump out, which is absolutely huge. They do want to back up with Ori here. They got to work together if they want to try to be busting out of this spawning area. But when you have Potato, look at how far Potato is pushed up here with the clam economy that Gaming has. I mean, this could be really dangerous for Velocity here if they are not careful. I mean, 68 is not much of a lead here, Maddie. If you are Velocity, and especially with 2 power clams online coming in from Gaming, you can't let that opening slide.
No, absolutely. We see the craft tech is online once again, and nothing, or Velocity has no specials to really defend this if they decide to push out. But getting a nice pick on the 52, taking down that wall right there is going to just kind of slow them down. And then Potato going down as well. That's just going to throw off this push and allow Velocity to come back into mid. But still, even with the retreat happening, they're able to take several members of Velocity down, just kind of even the playing field, so neither team has been able to get a solid foothold as we get into this last minute. It is going to be Velocity, however, with the slightly more paint and control of the mid-top area.
Yeah, and you can see they're kind of just moving around together. Definitely call-outs are being made. They're trying to see where are the members of gaming trying to position themselves, because we know that they are playing the defense game with only 40 seconds left remaining. Velocity has to, or excuse me, gaming does have to make a move here, but with Velocity just being right on their coattails, they gotta be really careful, Maddie. You don't want to be taking trades that you can't afford. But at this moment, with Velocity having 2 members down, you can see 5th Gen pushing forward with that crab tank. Absolutely huge for gaming. The pop is going to be made, and the lead is going to be taken as 2 power clams are thrown into that basket with some follow-up remaining down to the 54. 11 seconds to go. Velocity going to have to do some pretty amazing gameplay here, but with Candy being able to get a successful jump in there, finally the wipeout occurring on gaming. I mean, huge for them as 5th Gen was able to jump out. 5th Gen here.
Even with like all that going on, no one noticed the little splashes jumping in, getting in behind, and so now there was no power clam to jump in. They had no idea they were even there with all that chaos.
They didn't even know 5th Gen. Even 5th Gen knew. They were just kind of sitting in the ink, and they were like, well, okay. I guess like I'll just be here. I can defend this power clam. That's all that they have. Overtime is ending in 10 or 5 seconds. I mean, that was a really good spot for 5th Gen to be in. That was exactly where you'd want to be if you were them, because nobody saw that their jump was coming. Nobody saw them jump in and land. That's the beauty of stealth jump. You don't know.
They did not know. I feel like gaming was so close to be able to just close that out without overtime kicking in. They were putting in clams up until 5 seconds. But the Velocity, if they had closed that out, they had a small window in order to do that. But with 5th Gen getting in unnoticed like that, that window just shut down on their face. Just they had nowhere to go with that clam or that power clam user just taken out of the game like that.
And good positioning from 5th Gen there. And but that's the thing though, right? Stealth jump is one of those things that, like, this meta, this game currently, when you take somebody down and you are going to reposition yourselves to try to get the advantage, when you take someone down, you almost have to wait a little bit. You almost have to, like, delay what you're going to do, because it's like, well, what if there is a jump coming in? Like, you just don't know. You, like, when you have that opening bit of the game where you can look and see what everybody's wearing here. Look at this. There's only 3 members that are not wearing stealth jump, and one of them is going to be wearing the drop roller of which is potato, because they are using that inkjet ballpoint. So definitely advantageous there for them. But moving into zones here, you can see the Trizuka already for DatKid is online, the inkjet already coming out. I mean, we're not even 20 seconds in, folks, and specials are already being built here, used to the advantage. DatKid finding defense against Candy, taking Candy out, but 5th Gen was able to follow up and take them down. So gaming having a really good foothold on this opening push.
Yes, indeed. Gaming taking a nice first open here, getting down to 60 points in the first minute here. And they're still cooking. They're getting some nice splats right here. They do lose half their team in the process. And this is going to be like one of the key areas to take control of right now. It's just this high ground on the bridge right now. When you have a Zuka like that, when you have a crab, you're able to just rain fire down. And we see that here, Ori just getting a nice pick and moving on in. So it's going to be Velocity taking control and be able to start taking away at those points. I also want to just point out the Squelcher pick right there. We saw the Chargers are going to be taken out of action for this match just because they need that paint, they need that rain, and they just need so much more just constant pressure that the Charger isn't able to bring to zones.
Yeah, that's what's tough about it, is that especially on something like ship shape, there's a lot more places to try to hide from a Charger. But for a Charger though perspective, there's a lot more places to peek if you're playing a Charger. But I think that peeking is already hindered by the fact that there's so many different obstacles that people can hide behind, and especially in the middle of the zone here. Velocity though going to be taking the zone back in their favor. They only have a pretty small penalty in comparison to gaming. They're going to opt to try to push up this left-hand side, not really giving any space to work with. Candy going to be going down, but you can see 5th trying to push forward, but with the fight being taken with Sam. 2 members of gaming now going down as Velocity is going to be trying to break back into the map. The zone now being in their favor, that penalty is gone. So the lead is going to be lost for Gaming, but Velocity, oh my gosh, just such strong control here. This is exactly what you want to do on a map like Ship Shape though, Maddie. You want to be able to spread out here. You want 2 people being on the high ground and then 2 people kind of watching those flanks and having a good spread. But if you're that kid and you have all eyes forward, you can just go ahead and get a triple, no problem with that Trizuka, baby.
Oh, but even with the double there, Velocity is, or I'm sorry, Gaming is still able to cap the zone through all that. The ends up got taken down, someone else got taken down, but then they're able to come back in time to just paint that zone. And so they're going to be able to start still trying to get through their penalty points, but then once again, they're just losing members left, right, center, and Velocity is going to be trying to contest the zone again and just like continuing to hold the lead and just play on the defense.
I really do like this rain pick that's coming out from the C-Jet on Velocity. You can see they were trying to rain out the right side, but it didn't matter. That shipping damage didn't matter if you were Gaming because the wipeout has now occurred on the side of Velocity, and all the members of Gaming are going to opt to push forward. The juice has now been popped. They all eyes forward on that spawning point of Velocity. You don't want to let anybody break in here as one member goes down trying to come in from the left-hand side. But you can see Velocity doing their best to try to get in. Dat Kid once again getting that Trizuka, finding the pick on Luna. Getting pincered though. It's really constant trades going on here, so Gaming is going to be opting to take the lead now. You can see Dat Kid was trying to be a little bit more sneaky, trying to see, hey, you know what, maybe I can take that zone a little bit out of favor here, but Gaming just having such a good foothold, they're going to go ahead and, oh! And as I say that, Velocity is going to do their best to break back out. Even in a 3-down scenario, they take the zone out of possession just for a second to opt to get a little bit more time on that clock with the penalty from Gaming. They're going to just try to do their best here to sneakily get back in there once again, Maddie. 50 seconds left to go.
That rain did exactly what it wanted it to. It just displaced the ball point long enough to distract them from painting the zone. Even when they were able to pop the jet and get those splats, it was a little too late, and the cap was in Velocity's favor. Once again, just capping, adding on a little bit more penalty points, getting a nice 3-down off of Gaming. On top of that, they don't have control of the zone right now, but they're going to be moving up and taking so much control in this last 20 seconds, and they have a solid chance of bringing this back because 20 points once they get to the penalty is not going to be a lot.
Yeah, I think that's also the beauty of splat zones, right, Maddie? Is like the game can actually last so much longer than you think it does because of these penalty points, and so they just have to take it out of control temporarily to give themselves more time to try to follow up here. But Velocity, or excuse me, Gaming just had such strong control throughout that entire game. They had the zone in their favor for most of it, even with the penalty that they had. So Velocity just had no ground to stand on to not only eliminate their penalty, but try to get back in and to displace the members of Gaming away here. So Gaming once again going to be taking the second game. We are at match point, going down to Hagglefish Market on tower control. Now, Maddie, you gotta have your reusable bags at hand. You gotta have a good mind for produce here with what you're trying to cook. If you're going to the farmer's market, what are you looking for?
You know, that is an excellent question, and now in this season, I imagine it's just summer all time round on Hagglefish. So you get all sorts of produce coming in here, citrus, watermelon, just all of it. But I'm looking forward to some of the fresh caught seafood we're gonna be seeing here on the Hagglefish Market, and I imagine things are gonna get a little bit dicey as well. Tower control Hagglefish, it is once again a textbook like tower control map. You have key areas that are going to be so crucial in order to take control of, especially because it all goes up that right side. All the focus for the tower is on the right side of the map, and that is going to be where it's going to be centered from. But that at the same time, that can allow for some sneaky flanks from the other side if you're not careful.
Yeah, you gotta be watching out for the flanks. The flanks are so major here on this map, regardless of what side you are on, because it's such a it's such a linear map. It's such a linear map, so that like the opportunity for flanking. Longular, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. You're right. It's such a longular map, but one thing you gotta note is like that first checkpoint, yes, is absolutely major because it's right in front of that elbow area. You have the canopy right in front of you. I mean, all eyes forward with that first checkpoint, right? But once you get past that first checkpoint, a lot of that fighting and a lot of the space that's major to take is that little ramp area before you go up to the platform, like right in front of the court. The court being the area right in front of the zone if we were playing Hagglefish zones. So being able to take full advantage of the court of your opposer and trying to control that little switchback ramp area where that second checkpoint is going to be really huge, because that is where you're going to find a lot of advantageous positioning, even with the opposing team having the high ground. That's where like you're going to be most advantageous if you have the ink to work with. But with Velocity and Gaming here, I mean, there is no ink. There's so much ink to be spared. I mean, you have Splash and Zap coming out on Gaming, but on the flip side, you have Splash and Zap coming out for Velocity as well. So the difference in the aggressor weapons being the 52 Gal and the Neo Splash, or excuse me, the Neo Machine. So you have one Zuka on one side, but you don't have a Zuka on the other, but you do have the Tri-Strikes coming out from Potato with using that ZNF charger. And as we've seen before, Potato is pretty menacing with that charger. You got to be really careful, and you definitely got to be careful on Velocity, as Gaming has 3 specials online. Potato did go down, but they had 3 specials online. The Crab Tank going down, unfortunate for 5th gen there. But the tower is still moving in Gaming's favor, but Velocity is going to waste no time to try to push themselves forward and take advantage of the men on Velocity being down.
Yeah, Gaming did take 3 players down, unfortunately, but they sacrificed one of their last players just to get through that checkpoint, which will be pretty helpful later on. And knowing they were probably cooler, it means they were coming back and they're able to defend Velocity's push, not allowing them to even get close to that first checkpoint there. And they have their specials online once again, ready to rock and roll and start pushing out. Crab Tank is going to be used on that right side, just trying to open space up, but it just, several of the splats that Velocity is able to get is going to keep things from rolling too far, but it is maybe not enough, because Gaming, they are gaming on. The strikers are going to be coming out, and they are well past the first checkpoint here.
Yeah, but that's a good spot to be if you're Gaming. That wall is going to be huge, but not much to be done there if you have a Trizuka and a Suction Bomb to follow up. So 3 members of Gaming unfortunately going down now in the delayed wipe scenario as the last member goes down. 37 though on the side of Gaming, so Velocity has a lot of ground to make up here, but if they have such a firm control of mid, especially with that Juice and that Inkjet coming out to respond, they are going to opt to go back into the team fight to get that tower moving for their side, but the Inkjet already is going to be taken out as soon as the team fight starts. There's another Crab Tank going online here with the canopy up top. Members going down in trades, which, I mean, can definitely keep you in the neutral game, but for Velocity here, you really don't want to be caught in that sort of trap. You want to be able to push forward and get that tower going, but you can see 2 members of Velocity being pushed up with now one of them going down, only the Splash being left alive. Gaming's going to take full advantage of that, Maddie, and they're just going to opt to get on the tower.
Yeah, we saw the team fight mid kind of getting scrappy there. All the specials coming out without the tower really moving too much. But in the end, it came down with the Velocity going 3 members down, which allowed Gaming to get a pretty good push going there. But I'm going to say get going. They're going to continue to keep going, and 3 members of Velocity once again go down. And they're going to be building up their specials. 2 specials online, having that tower control, that passive special charge going up right now. If you get Crab Tank on that canopy where 5th gen is, and there it goes, that's going to be a lot of pressure they're going to have to deal with, and it's going to be directed away from the tower, chewing through that second checkpoint.
And I just love that too. 5th gen in such a good position with that Crab Tank, but the Tri-Strikes coming out almost as a smoke screen right in front of that spawning area. There was not really much to be seen. A little bit of visibility being lost on the side of Velocity here, but Gaming now having 3 members down, sort of a delayed wipe with 1.5 minutes left to go here. The tower now making its way back to middle, but you can see that Gaming already has members up trying to take the fight in the middle section, but now 2 of them going down once again here, so the tower's still going to be opting to push back towards the middle with Velocity taking control. There's a lot of ground to be made up here if you're Velocity with 1 minute left to go, but that's still so much time, Maddie. Still still so much time, and especially if you have a crab tank online, you have Inkjet just also waiting for you.
Yeah, but this map mode, it can get pretty stally around the second checkpoint. I've seen matches where it's just like points difference around that second checkpoint. But right now with gaming, all the way up to the last checkpoint here, and once again taking 2 members of Velocity down, they haven't even gotten through the first checkpoint there, and gaming is in control of the tower. Like with 30 seconds left, like this is like slowly closing that window that Velocity once again has to bring it back, and they're just not quite able to do it. But with 2-3 members of gaming down, this might be the opportunity that they're looking for.
This is going to be Velocity's chance to try to turn it around, Maddie. They got 1 Trizuka online. They're waiting for that crab tank, probably also waiting for that juice to get online before they can really get something cooking here. The Trizuka is going to opt to try to clear that right side. Candy going down on the right side there. You can see Potato getting set up. Now 3 members of gaming going down. The crab tank for them is still online, but they get taken down before they are able to pop it, with Bronze being pushed so far forward into the overtime here on the Inkjet. So now the points are ticking away for Velocity. This is a really good position that they want to be in. They are delaying the members of gaming from coming out of the spawning area. You can see they were about to opt for the right, but they are instead going to opt for the left to go for the team fight that's happening on the plat area. You have 2 members of Velocity on that tower trying to dance around, taking them out. The lead has been lost. Velocity going to be taking game 3 there, still in it.
They are not out of the set just yet. Getting a nice overtime comeback there. And one of the key splats I was looking for just at the top there, Potato on that charger had those tri-strikes ready to go for so long, just waiting for that time to tick down. Then they were back at spawn, and once they were back at spawn, they did not let them stay alive long enough to build that special back up again. So gaming had nothing to stop Velocity's momentum going through those last couple of checkpoints, and we saw how well that they were pushed up, winning those 1v1s just enough to like keep that tower moving for so long in that overtime. We saw right at the end there 3 members of Velocity jumping up and down on tower just to make sure someone was alive to keep it moving.
Absolutely, and I mean, if you are Velocity here, just the amount of pressure that it takes for you to try to keep your cool in those last few moments there to get the final push and to get the overtime push. I mean, you really got to keep your cool and keep it under control. But you know what? It's one of those things where, like, Velocity's done this before. They've done this before. They know what's going on here. But, folks, I'm going to swap out here because you're going to have a little bit of a commentator switch as Grace is going to come in for me to commentate this next match. The 4th one.
I am
Yes,
here for some reason. I don't know why. But I've been watching this stream this whole time, so I'm very, very hyped for this. I am, of course, a very avid Velocity fan, and Rainmaker is so aggressive inherently as a mode, so I think it's going to fare very, very well for these 2 teams here. It's been so evenly matched. I'm very excited. IMAD, what are we looking at?
I'm curious, well, actually I'm not too curious. Potato being a charger god out here, I would not be surprised if they brought it through even the most charger less charger friendly maps, but the fact that was it Velocity still Velocity still opting to bring out the ball point. They are just like, both teams are rocking this backline here, and on Undertow it's not as common just because there's not a whole lot of open space as you would normally see on other maps. There's a lot of places to hide from a backline, but it seems to be doing it for them with Gaming getting this first checkpoint right off the bat. We're barely a minute in.
Indeed, IMAD, and I mean, Velocity here is going to go 2 down. We see Luna try to pop in and get some more points there, a little bit unsuccessful, but the members of Gaming are still pretty pushed up here. We do see Sam with that crab pop out, and they get the pop as well. I mean, they're going to trade out with that Zuka, but 5th Gen here is going to go for some more points, IMAD. I mean, they're going to keep this push going.
Oh, yes, indeed. Like, they're just running up against that Maker just to keep it alive for so long, but now it is going to be Velocity picking it up, making sure they don't get too far away from it. But oh, we're going to be seeing the vacuum coming out from that vanilla charger. That is going to be a key pick for this Rainmaker because it has so much defensive pressure both for the carrier and for the defendees, like on both sides. But once again, Gaming just pushed up so freaking far right here. Like, Candy just looking for some sort of opening here, just trying to get his flat, and they get one before they're sent back to spawn themselves.
I mean, gaming has been so great at keeping up the pressure. I mean, as soon as they grabbed that Rainmaker, they're trying to keep another push. Velocity did get them away from it. They tipped them out, and we see Candy here up here. They mean business on this Gal. We saw them earlier getting a bunch of picks. They're going to try and get Pop here to keep their pushes going. And as of right now, I'm at Velocity does not have any points on the board. I mean, 3 or so minutes remaining, and gaming has a pretty solid hold right now.
Yes, indeed. Like every time the Velocity is like shut down whatever gaming was cooking and tried to push forward the Rainmaker, they would just run into a wall that is gaming because they would be back from spawn so quickly, just making sure they couldn't get through even this mid area, this like bottleneck that is the mid area, just to make sure they could even get past that. And once again, they have just key positions, defensive positions, but they're slowly breaking their way through. Velocity may finally be able to get some points on the board, going for a quick switch route to his right side, but it is going to be a crab tank standing between them and the pedestal once again. Like, they just can't go anywhere without the gaming just ready to pounce on them, it seems like. The vac going out, and that shot is going to go right to that Mega Carrier.
Oof, hi Matt. I mean, that's gotta hurt if you're on the side of gaming here. I mean, you try to get, or sorry, gaming is not hurting here. They have a really solid lead. I mean, Velocity here, they're trying to go up this left side that is a lot more safe than the right side to get the pedestal. Velocity's gonna go 1 down here, which is gonna be huge for Velocity to keep pushing up. And I mean, gaming again, they're still gonna go 1 down, but Sam can't quite get into the pedestal. They do crack it though, IMAD, which I think with all these picks that they're getting is gonna be huge for them to make a push.
Oh, yes, indeed. 3 members of gaming going down. That's going to be the lead swap right there up this uninkable area, which is going to be huge because it is very difficult to get past this point, and they're still going to be running it. Sam going for a couple more points with that juice in hand. Velocity turning this around. They persevered through all that gaming was thrown at them, and were able to successfully get it up to that left side. And with a minute left to go, 23 points. Like, it is not unbeatable, but it is a steep hill to climb for gaming right now.
Velocity's aware that they're at match point. I mean, if they lose this to gaming in this little bit of a dicey push here in the last minute, that they will lose the set. I mean, it is tough out here. And here we're going to see a little bit of a vac cheese trying to get to the lead, but they don't quite get it there. I mean, they're going to go 2 down, make that 3 down on the side there. And they do manage to get that pop somehow, but remember that pop, it does end up going down. I mean, we saw the inkjet, we saw the coordination, them collapsing in on that Rainmaker, totally just obsoleting that ink back there, to making sure that they did not get the lead. Again, there's a lot riding on this game here, IMAD, and Velocity does not want to give it up.
They do not indeed. Like, gaming is doing a good job of just keeping control, keeping the paint going out, but Velocity is right at the line that they know they need to be, making sure they can't get past that points value to take the lead back. And with the specials coming out, they're just kind of like all sorts of firefight going on. They take down the vac so quickly, but they're able to slip through. They're able to slip through with the defensive wall. Gaming taking the lead right at the end there and getting that 3rd victory that they need to take the set.
I'm literally looking at my screen right now in disbelief. I blinked for a second and they suddenly took the lead. Saf, what did we just witness?
I mean, Grace, like, what even happened there? I almost wish that we had the replay feature, because the most beautiful thing about that was that they were able to not only get really a good foothold of that first checkpoint, but the wall was thrown right in front of the slicks, and you could see the squid roll from the Rainmaker carrier happening. The Rainmaker carrier was able to squid roll so beautifully through that wall and just kind of make a run for it. They knew in the overtime mark that they were like, it's do or die. I gotta get as much ground as we can, and that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, that's the beauty of Rainmaker. Sometimes Rainmaker can be really frustrating from the player perspective, but the beauty of it from being able to watch it and to commentate it is the fact that, like, these are split-second decisions that are made for success to happen. And that's exactly what happened for the side of gaming there. They made a split-second decision, and gaming was able to come out successful and on top there. So, I mean, congratulations to OF Gaming in the finale here on Rainmaker Undertow, and just taking advantage and just taking a leap of faith in overtime to give themselves the win.
Yes, indeed. Like we saw a bit of like both some mind games and some fancy footwork. Like it almost spelled disaster because their vacuum ran out before they really wanted to without being able to defend the Rainmaker. But because all the focus was focused onto where the vacuum was and where the Rainmaker used to be, Rainmaker was just able to slip through their noses without any sort of trouble at all. And so, like you said, just those split-second decisions, being able to like ride the corner, ride the ledge, and just stay under all that fire raining down on them and able to slip through without getting splatted. Huge props to them. Huge props to them.
And Maddie, looking down the bracket, look at that. Flower Pot getting a 3-0 over Torrent. Again, like we said, the score doesn't tell the whole story, right? But I mean, but that's the beauty of something like SOS. So Torrent, as I've said before, was our winners of 128 SOS last week. They came back to duke it out. They went down to the third place match here as a result of round 3, and they were going 3-0 over Flower Pot. So it's like these people won last week, you guys. It's like it's never the same format. It's never the same thing on SOS. Like, even if you're able to make it this far, it won't be the same outcome every time. And so Torrent going ahead and getting fourth place, Flower Pot taking third, and you have Gaming and then you have Velocity and then Gaming finding themselves on the throne here for SOS 129. So congratulations to the folks at Gaming. I mean, it was well played. GG's across the board for you guys. It was well played and well deserved. And GG's to Velocity, Flower Pot, and Torrent for making it as far as you did. But Maddie, that's going to do it for us here tonight on IPL on this beautiful Wednesday evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are. We appreciate you folks coming out. But Maddie, I'd like to know, where can the good people find you across the internetverse?
Well, you can pretty much always find me here on IPL on the Swimmer Sink every week. I have just set up shop. Grace has got a shack for me out back. I just live here now, but other than that, you can find me in all the usual places: Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at iMadGamerII. Big into the splatlanes, big into the backlines, and you can probably always find me some clips there. But yes, Saf, where can the good people find you?
You can find me at Safirea. That's 2 P's, 2 A's. I'll say it again. 2 P's, 2 A's at Safirea at either the weather, whatever the heck it's called, B Sky, whatever the weather app. You can find me there. It's not even set up. If you want to follow me there, you sure as heck can, but that's up to you. Or you can find me on Twitter at the same handle. Or sometimes you can find me running through the woods looking for mushrooms. Sometimes you can find me running around lands and talking to folks. I've been told I need a balloon on my wrist because people can't keep up with me when I'm communicating all around at the lands that happen in the Splatoon verse here. But those are the places on the socials that you can find me. We appreciate you folks coming out and hanging out with us here on the IPL channel for Swim or Sink. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a great holiday. If you celebrate the holiday next week and you're with your family or loved ones and doing really fun things, we appreciate have a great time, and we appreciate you once again. 3rd time, 4th time, we appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day wherever time it is for you, and we will see you next time.
Indeed. Have a good night, everyone.